quoting me, you fucking bitch! How fucking dare you? She's a fucking lying bitch. That's why she'd say it. A bully, you've just lied about me. You've said you've got a quote and you haven't. You lying, degenerate sack of shit.
Psychopath because I lie. You hear that in his voice? You pathetic piece of shit. You sound like you're about to cry. You sound pathetic. Anything on that is touching me.
What is up, people? Fix this microphone real quick. Alright, good to go. Hope everyone's in a good mood. I am definitely in a good mood. Gonna do something. Wanted to give you guys a little information on this geoengineering stuff, and the fun stuff they're doing. I put a couple acronyms in the title, CCS and DAS. These are very, very, very important abbreviations right here. They basically dictate whether or not we're gonna have a really shitty future or not, based on my opinion. And we're gonna get, I want to kind of give you guys a very good explanation for these things, and not a shitty one, not fly through it, but at the same time not bore the shit out of you guys. So at the same time, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to like to say nuh-uh when I say a few things that are going on with this, and you have your rights for that. I understand. That's perfectly fine. The issue that I would see is that it's not. I wish it was all nice and cookie cutter, but it's not. It's really not. It really is crappy. It really does just show the crux of all the crap that is our government. Now that I've drawn the fuck out of that, let me go ahead and get this hangout up. Put this in the link, and I know someone's gonna want to derail it, but that's okay. You guys can derail it if you want. If it gets that boring, derail the crap out of it. I'll put the link in the chat right now. And then I still need to make sure you guys can hear me, because I could be doing all this and nothing be working. Which one do I want? And pretty sure you guys all were at Jose's and got to experience the red pill once again. That guy's he's just gone. I don't want to deal with him. I don't want to deal with him. I don't want to deal with Nathan. Go. Move this over. Yeah, I have no intention of fuck that guy. That guy's fucking a lunatic. I got no time for that shit. What's up, Sean? How you doing, sir? Yeah, I don't know how you were dealing with red pill all that time. That guy's a fucking lunatic. I just don't like. Um, before I forget, I wanted to kind of start going over some of this just not even geoengineering stuff. It's mostly the tech they have out, and uh, how they're selling bullshit, and it's fucking irritating. So you guys get to hear about this irritating stuff too. Um, you know anything about the carbon capture storage aspect of the world? Okay, so for the people that don't really understand what's going on, what I'm talking about, the IPCC, which is the international, it's like it's like an age. You know how like there's science agency or yeah agencies or whatever, or what do you call them? Institutes. There you go. Damn. This is like the biggest one. And before I say this, shout out to Q. Great upload. Great upload. Keep it up. Yeah, I like her uploads. They're funny. So, back to what I was saying. Okay, so, they're like all the climate scientists. There's about 300 of them, and they all have been just studying the climate in different areas for like probably I think it was 7 years, and came to them with this big report in 2018. There will be 3 more reports, all within this year, either highlighting on what's going on or talking about something that needs to change. Blah 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 blah. The issue is that they gave us 13 years to one get our emissions down, or the emissions down 45% from where we're at now, by 2030. By 2050, we'd be using 85% renewable for electricity. Be at 7% more more land for crops, basically. They would have to actually expand more land for the different afforestation type projects they'd want to do. That's where you would actually put a forest somewhere. A forest would never have grown. That's what afforestation is. And the guides that they're running these things on are models, and we love talking about those models, right? So flat earthers, I know you're not going to like this. I know it, but it's how it is. We are able to predict whether it be seasons for weather patterns, hurricane seasons, tornado seasons, rainy seasons, dry seasons. We're able to do all these things based on the model. We're able to predict the time, a good time when these things are going to happen based on the other things that we put on this model. The currents, the jet stream, all that crap. Well, when they start punching in the aspects of geoengineering, so to speak, solar radiation management, where they'll be spraying sulfates into the sky above the ozone layer, that one is as dangerous as it gets. They're not explaining these things correctly, and they have no clue what will happen. They put them in these models, and on a typical basis, they run, I think it's 50-year span. What's happening is because it's not working, they're having to actually add 100 years to that projection to start getting any kind of readable data that will, correlate with itself. Excuse me. I gotta get some drink. It's soda. Okay, my bad. Yeah. So the kind of the big crux of what I'm going to be talking about probably for the next, and I'm only going to be doing like 15 minutes of this crap, so don't worry, guys out there. The biggest issue I have is that they're either giving us a do it now, or we're screwed, or do it our way, and we'll see what happens. And when I say our way, it's the more logical, ethical way of doing it. Because what's happening is the governments, Canada, Germany, United States, China, Japan, India, got to be another few more. They're actually, all their governments are putting millions into this geoengineering, these field experiments that are up and coming, so to speak. And the realization is they have no idea how bad it could get. And the problem is that no projection says nothing bad is going to happen. So they are going to put a value on our lives. Understand? And probably not us, because we're in the United States. But hey, if you live in a place that's probably not, top ranking, you may not get enough of that sulfate, and your climate's going to change the worst. And it's a mind fuck when you really get to the big picture. Let me get some images up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So, just so everyone is clear on this, I've talked about weather modification. That's your house. That's like right there. That's your little city that means nothing compared to everything, right? Then there's geoengineering. Geoengineering is modifying the climate. Once you do that, you then change the climate itself, because it all runs and it's on a cycle. It needs itself. You know what? It's kind of hard to explain. If say a desert region is always dry, well then the next region over is probably going to have a lot of moisture with a lot of high pressure, and that kind of just keeps that desert how it is. That kind of keeps that green area wet. Our mountains work this way. If you live on the east of the Colorado mountains, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You get no moisture. Here on the west side of it, we get moisture. All this stuff happens because of itself. The model. I know you guys hate that. The model dictates this. So if we change the climate, we make it the air denser, it rain a lot more on the west coast, more than it used to. Well, guess what's going to happen? That pressure system's going to get pushed over to the Midwest, where it's not supposed to get that much rain during that year. And hey, that may actually sound good, more rain. Problem is the whole region isn't set up for that amount of rain. They get mudslides. California had this when we had a real bad rains a few years ago. These are, and I'm just saying little things that have so far happened. Once you start changing everything, it's all over. Yeah, what's up, Rob? Yeah, see, these are real chemtrails, but they're not chemtrails. I don't call them chemtrails. I don't like that name. It irritates the shit out of me because it puts you in the loony bin before you even start. Okay, so I wanted you guys to there's like a big underlying issue before I even start with the bad and what's going to happen and all that stuff. There's these treaties. And some of you guys probably don't even really care about treaties, but these treaties are kind of what keeps the world from going under on itself. And there's 3 treaties in question that actually strictly state no country is to do geoengineering until adequate information is be able to be forthcoming. Because again, they don't know what the risks are. They can't predict it because they can't put it into a model. They can't. They don't know the amounts of this. So right now we're talking SRM, solar radiation management. They don't know the amounts of particles. They don't know the size of these particles that they need to do what they need to get done. Now, here's the big issue. What's going to dictate whether or not the United States is going to pass a bill allowing geoengineering, which they then hope the other countries start to build with, which we'll get into much later down. What they're going to do is they're going to do this ScopeX field experiment in New Mexico. I'm thinking probably within the next couple months. It's this year, though, no matter what. I mean, it was supposed to be last year. Now it's this year. They will be taking a remote control balloon into the stratosphere. They'll take 2 of these trips. So everything I'm going to say, they're going to do it one more time after one time that I'm going to explain. They're going to go up. They're going to spray sulfates. It's not going to be a sulfate the first for this field experiment. It's going to be water, chalk, and like a calcimite or something like that. I can't pronounce it, but they're going to spray it over a 1 mile area, and from where the stratosphere is, that's actually going to lay a lot more. It's going to cover a lot bigger of an area. What they're trying to do is see what the particles will do when dispersed, trying to see what kind of area they'll be able to actually be able to cover, and they're going to take that. They're going to do that twice, and then they're going to take that data and take it to legislation. Now, I'm going to tell you now. Again, remember I explained how weather modification is local. It's nothing compared to the world. Well, imagine how insignificant that field experiment is going to be to explain what geoengineering is going to do. Because remember, that is the crux. That's the is it going to happen for the SRM, which is the whole world. They're going to spray everywhere. It's not conspiracy. This is literally what he says in every interview. I'm about to play some. You'll see. The guy I'm talking about is David Keith, Harvard geoengineering research project. They are the ones heading this. As for funding, it's your buddy Bill Gates, FEer. Not only does let me get that in before I get too far ahead of myself. Let me do those treaties real quick. Or actually, I can just run through them real quick. So there's 3 treaties that state this is not to happen. It's the Biodiversity Treaty. That's the most, or the biggest one. That's the one with the most people a party to it, signed to it. What's up, Tim? How you guys doing? And then the next one would be oh damn, lost my train of thought. Okay, got it. So so FEer isn't an entity of itself. It's a organization of rich billionaires who basically fund any kind of project for geoengineering they want. Now, this has been around for about, I think it's 13 months, I think. Maybe a little longer. Okay, it's been in public 13 months. How about that? And not only is Bill Gates funding, putting a lot of money to fund the ScopeX experiment, but David Keith, the guy who's running this SRM project, he owns his own carbon capture company in Canada. It's called Carbon Engineering, and this would be another form of geoengineering. This would be the ground-based form of it, and also a waste of time. I kind of started when I started finding out about this stuff. When I started finding out about this stuff, the biggest thing that I noticed right off the bat was that why is the fossil fuel companies, why are they jumping at the opportunity to do all this carbon capture? So basically what they're doing, when these industries are running, you see all that black smoke pumping out, that's all the emissions. They put scrubbers on these things. Granted, yes, great idea. They put scrubbers on them. It collects all the nitrin, or what the fuck, I can't speak today. The carbon dioxide and all the other emissions that come off of these machines. Not all of it, just a good, decent percentage. In the crux that they capture that CO2 from being released into the atmosphere. Okay. Then what they'll do, this is the idea of it, is to then pump it into the ground about a mile or 2. I wish I had everything ready because I had pictures for all this crap. And this, once they've got it down about a mile or 2, it's to be sealed. Carbon capture, storage. Problem is, again, this is new. How long does carbon dioxide stay underground? We don't know. What happens if carbon dioxide in pockets is released from the ground? We know. I talked about it before. 1986, a whole village was killed by one of these pockets. Not a pocket from from carbon capture and carry. Not from that. It was a freak pocket of CO2 under a lake. Go ahead and pull that up. And I know I keep saying I'm gonna pull shit up, but keep remembering I wanted to show you guys stuff first. Carbon dioxide.
Is this information from geoengineeringwatch.org at all?
No. I do get bits and pieces, but I don't use any of his stuff because he's one of the guys that will do the nanobot shit too.
Well, and the chemtrails as well.
Yeah, big time, big time. And the problem is they do find good stuff, but none of it's credible because they're crap. Because all the crap they do on the side, they got aliens and all that shit. All right, so here it is. Go to share my screen.
Aliens used to be kind of a conspiracy theory, but it seems like more of a accepted stance nowadays.
I wouldn't say an accepted stance. I would say more of a philosophical question that is reasonable to ask. Like that's
they have the probability. I forget what the math is called, but the probability of how many planets are in the solar system and stuff, and the likeliness, I guess.
The thing is because there is shit out there, you can't say never. That's the scary part. I want to say never, but you can't. Sucks. But what I got on the screen, this is a picture of Lake Naiso, whatever. See, I can't read today. I can't read it any day, but whatever. This place, they had one of those pockets of CO2 leak out from under the lake, and it killed the whole village instantly. As soon as anything that was in that pocket, it was killed. Hey, Lodi's here. Go ahead and block him if you guys like. That's always fun to do every day. But with that, it brings the question of, okay, if that can happen, what's going to happen when this little amount of, where is it? Here it is. It says 100,000 to 300,000 tons of CO2 gas released. Well, understand that they want to actually capture and store in the millions. The average site will hold up to over 100 million tons per storage, I guess you would call it. I don't even know how they're going to make that happen. The goal is that they would seal that up and it would not be able to get out. Problem is kind of like with all gases, they find a way. and we don't know how to make sure they don't. Because again, if that much CO2 is released, it's not going to be a city that's going to be in trouble. It's going to be states. And Obama released 32 sites for this, huh?
I don't think they're storing it in its gaseous state. I think they're bonding it to the hydrogen and water and storing it as raw carbon. Yes.
During transportation, they pressurize it and it becomes a liquid. I call it reverse fracking. It's kind of funny to say that, but yeah, that's how I consider it. That's how I understand it more anyway. The issue, and this is the big issue, guys. The scrubbers and this storage idea that they got going on right now, that companies, fossil fuel companies, companies like I mentioned that David Keith owns, where is it? Carbon engineering. Yeah, it's these guys are making money on this, right? It's all supposed to lessen the CO2 in our atmosphere. Here's the big problem. It doesn't. They haven't figured out a way to get anywhere near capturing more carbon dioxide than they produce to capture it, transfer it, and store it. And want to make it worse? They're not even storing it, because what they're doing is they're using it to recover more oil. For instance, there's one company that is in Texas. It's called Nova. They actually are producing 1,000% more barrels per day than they were before, now that they're using EOA. right? Basically, you're using it to absorb. They're absorbing 40 to 60% more oil out of the wells. Hint, hint. That's why wells do not replenish themselves. The oil is just there still, and they found ways to extract it better. And that's right there is the crux of why I have an issue with this. And that is nothing still, but that's enough to go, what the fuck? Because again, millions are going into this. Bills are being passed every day to basically fund pointless crap. And what I'm talking about is the stuff that takes the CO2 out of the sky. That's a good idea. We need to be talking about how to take the CO2 in lower emissions. Okay, I get that. That's 100% right. And there are definitely methods to doing it. We'll talk about that some other time because I don't want to fill the whole thing up with this. But the main thing I wanted you guys to understand is that there is a progression of steps and evidence that led me to where I'm at. So it's not just speculation at all. When it comes to what we're talking about, the main push they're doing is this solar radiation management. That does nothing to help CO2 levels and emissions. It does nothing. Matter of fact, they're not sure, and this is part of one of the risks, they're not sure that if they do the SRM, how the fact that they're going to be actually trapping these emissions inside is going to affect the climate. Because on a normal basis, a lot does get released. So if they do that, realize that we have to lower emissions, because if we don't, we produce more, and we're going to be doing that and kind of suffocating ourselves. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be great, guys. Don't worry. And solar, how's solar going to work if our skies are all hazy? Who cares? So that's going to be enough for that today, because I know you guys are bored as hell. I know you guys hate it when I do this, but that's just a tidbit. That's where we'll start for today, and then next time we'll do a little bit more in depth, and then eventually you guys will be completely caught up, at least by the time they start. If anybody has any questions, go ahead.
Well, I'll say this. I think the idea of weather manipulation is absurd. With the given the wind patterns, the jet stream, the high-low pressure variance, I think weather manipulation is an impossibility. However, you suggested that they were that chemtrails were carcinogens in order to keep big pharma in business. I could, potentially jump on board with something like that, but I just don't see even 100,000 airplanes being able to put enough junk in the sky to manipulate the weather with chemtrails. I just can't see it being possible.
Okay, so I'll play some clips for you. David Keith, like I said, the guy that is head of this, talks about this, and he states, and this this is pretty much verbatim, and I'm finding the clip as I speak. Delivery is the easy part. That's right. Of the issues, delivery of this method is the easiest part. The scary part.
Before you get into that, you need to understand, though, in order to, for example, make it rain in the desert, you need to force the earth to pick up water and carry it somewhere that it normally wouldn't, and then drop it. It's not just as easy as putting something in the sky to reflect UV radiation.
Not true. That's not completely true, sir, because they've been making it rain in Saudi Arabia for 20 years now. And they do it through cloud seeding. And no, there's cloud seeding, and then there's ionizing the sky too. So there's different methods of this, and Saudi Arabia is rich as hell. They don't do the seeding the way we do over here. They use these towers. I'll show you some other time, but it's different. But I'm sorry, manipulating the weather it's not even a conspiracy anymore. it's not.
Well, I've seen the cloud seeding, but to me that just seems more like a gigantic sprinkler system. Like they're firing moisture up in the air, and then eventually it falls down.
Very local. Yeah, Nothing to do with it.
That being something that that contrails or chemtrails.
No.
Understand what I'm saying? Like, I just
Okay.
don't think chemtrails is. I think if they wanted to manipulate the terrain, they would do something like
Wait. They're not.
some source of water and plant a whole bunch of
No.
trees and
That
get
take
the Sahara Desert to make its own rain. You know what I mean?
The problem is how long would that take?
Well, much longer than like we'd never see. But you
Yeah,
see
okay.
plenty
But
of-
remember, we got
plenty of
13
stories
years.
about barren wastelands where people plant trees for 40 years, and before you know it, it's gone from a barren, dry wasteland to a nice, lush forest, right?
Okay, so here's the thing. You guys, and okay, this tells me one thing. I have to ramp up this information because this is what's happening. That the IPCC, that report I was telling you about, the climate and all that stuff, the scientists, they're giving, they basically told governments, you have 13 years to get to the standards that we set for you guys. Otherwise, we'll gain that 1.5 degrees Celsius global temperature. They're pushing this stuff through. That's this problem. Now, the reason, is it in 13 years, if we don't fix our shit, we're fucked? I don't know. But I do know that they're about to push some shit in that could almost likely make everything a lot fucking worse. Because we're not even talking just what the climate's going to do. It's the other governments. Here's the biggest issue. Governance. You are now putting a real weather weapon into the hands of other governments that have to help you do this. That is the biggest issue. Who's going to spray it? Who's going to dictate where it gets sprayed? And I'm sorry, guys. This is not a conspiracy. This is not chemtrails. This shit is happening. This is going to be happening very quickly. Let me get these videos. These are interviews with these guys in committee hearings. I mean, we're at the point now where it's not. Okay, so this one is what is it? This one will be one of his earlier interviews. This is probably about 3 years ago when everyone started really hearing about it. Wrapping up. Which one do I want to play? We'll play public information first.
I think it's absolutely.
All right, so I gotta make it so you guys can see it. All right. Don't worry, guys. In the stream, I'm going to make the hangout a lot bigger. Or actually, you know what I'm gonna do? No, because I'll play twice, huh? Fuck. That's what I'll do. I'll make this bigger. All right, there you go. Perfect. All right. So again, these are clips of one interview that I'm going to be showing. Some of the questions are not really relevant right now, so but again, you guys are going to see all these like 10 more times, don't worry.
I think it's absolutely vital if you're going to have. I mean, the only way to make any kind of sensible public decisions about this are to have the discussion must be broad both in terms of the sorts of people involved, their backgrounds, but also broad in terms of broadening the topic, because you can't make sensible decisions about solar geoengineering just talking about solar geoengineering.
Oh, thanks, man.
It is intimately connected with questions about the other ways we might respond
I
to
figured
climate,
him to be more
and
of
broadly with
what I
big
call,
questions
for lack
about
of a better term right now,
how
mainstream
we conceive
cuck-ish.
of living
But he was
on
actually
this
very
planet
open and
shaping
honest
it
with
or
a lot
being
of
shaped
things
by
I
it over
asked
the
him.
next
So
century. So you have to have those
good
big
to hear.
conversations, or you won't get to any kind of
Yeah, and at least he had
crude
answers. At least he didn't come back with,
consensus
well,
about
just
what might be the right thing to do.
Yeah, he's looked into these things, and obviously some of the stuff I brought up are conspiracies, and he definitely has looked into them and validated that they are conspiracies, basically. So
I'm a conspiracy theorist.
What, what'd you say?
I think we're just not being told the truth, being told 75% of it. That's the level.
Yeah, I think you said because you're cutting out and you're like auto muting yourself or something. Something about 75%.
Sorry, I'm outside. Just go on. I'll listen.
Oh, you're good now. Yeah, the geoengineering thing, in my opinion, is clouded and strawmanned into the chemtrail crowd. Aren't there ground-based systems that can mess with like the ionosphere or at least like clouds to make them more excited? I think cloud seeding is kind of conflated as well because I had a 1969 like first edition science book. I forget what it was, but I mean they were happily showing planes, little depictions of cloud seeding, and I mean it's admitted obviously cloud seeding at least mostly in
Oh,
Texas and
oh
other
yeah,
places.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, now that they're, I mean, they're billion-dollar companies now. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
Um, I know they did in like Santa Barbara area. They fucking love it. They fucking seed all the time. If you go into the city hall records, you can see every time they issued a contract. Um, they're supposed to be putting it, publicly announcing it to everyone, but they just put it in a little fucking little spot in the newspaper and call it good.
I'm not much for the whole geoengineering slash chemtrail thing, but I used to live in San Diego and I was kind of beach bum for a while,
Hmm?
always out on the beach and always clear skies. Then there was one time that I got on camera where it was like you got those checkerboard patterns and
Yeah.
then the weather did change after that. So it's like, I don't know.
See, the thing is, I don't get that either. And I've looked, and there's nothing. I don't care. Someone please show me on the internet where these formations happen, where you get like you're saying, like these. It looks like someone's playing fucking tic tac toe in the sky.
Yeah,
And I'm
literally.
sorry, the jet stream doesn't do that. I know that for a fact. It just doesn't. I get there are different directions, but really. But again, I don't know. I do know that they're not spraying these tar-looking black chemical trails anymore. Because the military used to actually do that back in the day. But that's when before they got stopped from doing it. Um, but yeah, I think I think I've heard. I don't know if I heard you say it, but they put it in the fuel. That's the easiest way to do it. Why? Because that fuel will burn and become exhaust and do exactly what a trail needs to do anyway. Guess what? You don't need a fucking chemtrail anymore.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of patents, plenty of companies that have talked about it. That guy David Keith talks about it all day long. He talks about different methods of it. They're talking about using for the United States alone. The numbers for the other ones they have no clue. It would take at least 50 AC KC-10 military refuelers. I guess that's what they use them for, to do this project, and that's 24/7. Robbie, I think you were talking about how it would what it would take. Yeah, they know because here's the thing: once they start, they can't stop because obviously it has to be uniformed. So yeah, it's a big deal, and they'll say it's not a thing yet. But if trust me, once I get enough of this information out, you guys will realize how fast they're pushing it. I mean, they've only really been what they say looking into it for the past 10 years, and they're no closer to having decent logical information.
I think a lot of time, like the conspiracy crowd will always think that it's a malicious thing either way. So there's never any pro-spiracies, it seems. So
Well, yeah, there's
you'd almost think that these people that live in the United States, that are the quote unquote elites, or they, or whatever you want to call them, probably wouldn't be spraying chemicals on their own head and
Yeah.
their kids' heads.
Yeah,
literally.
well, the reason they're doing it in the stratosphere is because they're under the impression, and I'm pretty sure they can figure this part out, but the particle size matters all to this because they need to have a light enough particle that it won't just fall to Earth, and they need a thick enough particle or big enough particle to make sure that it actually does its job. And again, they don't actually know that exact number yet either. I mean, put it this way: if we were talking about doing these geoengineering projects on the ethical level, guys, we shouldn't even hear about a field experiment for another 10, 15 years. Easy. And that's being nice about it. And
Well, I've always said that, like, with today's technology, a country like the United States could go up to like 80,000 feet, drop a nuclear weapon, explode at 30,000 feet, and with the technology, the jet stream will take out, drop it exactly where they want, without even having to bomb the actual location, right?
Mhm.
But I just think that weather manipulation is beyond their capabilities.
Why?
Really,
It's already
Okay.
admitted
Yeah, I
for a
mean,
long time.
yeah,
Cloud seeding is manipulating the weather.
yeah. I can tell you right now, they've been doing it. And I didn't know you lived here out here, Tim, but I'm in San Diego too. In our mountains, is the very first contract for cloud seeding in basically the world. The Hatfields, 1915, they were contracted to cloud seed for Buckman Springs. The thing it is you're right. It is not. Again, it's not like a you guys are gonna get out of droughts type technology. It's still a lot of research they're doing. I think right now they're still in the 12 to 17% range of knowing they did something, but they are doing something. I mean, it is there. The idea that changing the weather is that difficult, it's not hard. Actually, I would think it's not as hard as you think.
Yeah, I would think like a space shuttle or like an airplane in general would probably be harder than manipulating the weather, truthfully.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. All you got to do is just change the composition of the particles and the pressure system. That's it. And I said that's it. Like like I can go outside and do it real quick. But actually, you can. You actually can make it rain in your house if you wanted to. Make clouds and everything. You
When I was
just
in Denver, I was looking from Denver to the mountains, which is probably like 40, 50, 60 miles away. And one day it kind of dawned on me that it does have to do with pressure systems, where the planes that were coming over were basically leaving contrails over the mountains. And then all of a sudden, when they came uh, basically near like where Denver is, it stopped. So
it's yeah, it's I get why people think it's not possible. I 100% do. but it is. That's as good as I can get now.
But it's like any conspiracy. It's like 9/11. Well, there's some fishy things,
Mhm.
but then there's a bunch of people that go around and say no one died and there's no planes, and so liken it to chemtrails, where they've heard Mick West talk about them or other people. It's like chemtrails are bullshit, you know. So that's where their mind automatically
Mhm.
goes to. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is, and that's why I even, because I'm not gonna lie, I used to use chemtrails because I knew it would get you to listen. You know what I mean? When I first started talking about it, I don't want to. I hate that word because of it, but it does solidify the conspiracy theorists like that, because there always is truth to all these little things. It's just, some people do take it too far, like you were saying. But other people that see and listen to these things, you guys should be open to, like, trying to at least, sift through the people that are talking to you, because I'm sorry, I haven't used one bit of information that is far-fetched or not even out there already.
Yeah, there's people that are just closed off to learning new things, and they kind of think that they know it all. I mean, just for instance, I heard a flat earther on Fight the Flat Earth talk about justified true belief and epistemology, and both the globe earthers, including Fight the Flat Earth, were like, "Oh no, science doesn't need any belief," So, and then I send him an email saying, "Wow," from Stanford.edu, saying about justified true belief and epistemology, and how he lacks basic knowledge in those, and he just starts attacking my channel and saying that he has more views than me and stuff. And it's like, well, just go learn about it, dude.
And all right, 1 second, sorry guys. No, stop it. Doesn't stop. It won't stop. That's a lot of shit too. Too bad. Stop calling.
What's up, Q?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Nothing. It's Friday today, right? Friday?
Everywhere except for Australia.
Damn, my bad. I do apologize. Yeah, it's
John, how do you feel about this?
what Friday?
That's
No,
a cute meme. Even though I hate cats.
Hang on, I didn't see it. Hang on, gotta get. Nope, fuck that. I hate cats. All that does is remind me of fucking Lewis. Fuck you, Lewis. Fuck you and that stupid ass cat. Anybody see Lewis today? What's he wearing? Now when we're going on a Lewis watch, anyone sees him wearing that pink shirt, we need to know.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I was actually listening to you guys kind of joking around with him yesterday. He definitely is. I mean, a lot of guys aren't very into fashion, really. But man,
Yeah, that's just some shirt you just nope. Oh no, it doesn't work.
it's like trying to portray that you're confident in your sexuality or something. I think when people wear pink all the time and stuff.
Damn, I all I can remember is Sean Hawkins going, "Man, your tan looks weird."
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
But back to the fun stuff. Yeah, it's definitely harder to get this information out, knowing that I have to sift through that crap. I wish people didn't do it. I mean, god damn, evidence, man. Something that backs what you're saying works. It makes the whole story better. Don't just talk about it. You got to show for it. That's like those Margellan people that all self-diagnose themselves.
Morgellons.
Morgellons?
Yeah.
There's something to that, though, isn't there? Like they actually have.
I do believe it's. I think it's a super Lyme disease, like a mutated Lyme disease, because it has too many Lyme disease characters. Damn, it's like Lyme disease, but it's like a different strand or a morphed one. You know what I mean? too alike. The issue is that all these people self-diagnose themselves, and they all believe that they're being sprayed, and that's how they got it. Guess what, people? It'd probably be smarter to get your asses in the doctor's office than spraying above you. And then the numbers aren't good enough. They don't depict a spraying of a community. It doesn't.
What is it exactly? They pull like fibers out of their skin or something?
Yes, but there's a kicker to this, and there's two cases in which this happens. They're the ones that pull the stuff out themselves, become their own surgeons. They find that a lot of the times they're finding fibers, actual couch fibers, in their skin because they're doing it so often, usually on a couch. And I'm not even trying to be funny. This is actually what the researchers said. Researchers said the other side of this is the human body does have fibers in it, and yes, they look like fibers you would pull off, off a pillow that looks loose or something. It's weird. They're very small, but they do look exactly like it though. But we all have them in our bodies. It's there. You got to go look it up. But again, they talk about fibers, and then at the same time they talk about these little bugs. I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys have lice, but I've never seen these nanobots. And again, they would never spray when they could just give it to you at the doctor's office. That's why that argument kind of doesn't work for me. And then, other than that, yeah, they spray crops and and they weather modification. But other than that, I mean, spraying over a city, it just isn't a good way of infecting people if that's what they've been doing, because it's only like one or two people here and there. Their spray sucks then. It either sucks or these people are going to the wrong place at the same time. That's all there is to it. Now again, yeah, something to it. There is something going on, but it's just, to me, it's definitely not coming from the sky. And it's definitely not nanobots.
Yeah, it says on WebMD that some medical experts say Morgellons is a physical illness. Others suggest it is a type of psychosis called delusional parasitosis,
Which
in
is
which a
actually,
person thinks parasites have infected their skin.
and that's actually it's a real like a real psychosis. Is that the right word? They really think something's going on. It's kind of the same. Okay, they're not. Now I'm not saying they're druggies, but you know how like some druggies like pick at their shit and pull their hair out and all that crap. It's almost the same lines. It's just one's obviously recreational drug use induced, and the other one is psychosis. So it's a little different in why, but it's the same thing as that pretty much. That the whole why they think things are coming out of them type situation. Also, I mean, it's I don't even. It goes. I don't. What I don't get is how, like, for instance, Gold Steel. Gold Steel is one of the people that just shit all over cloud seeding. I wasn't talking about geoengineering, cloud seeding. He just didn't think it happened at all, and it really made me realize, like, okay, well, is it really realistically you just in your brain you just shut off because you hear it's a conspiracy? That doesn't seem right to me. That's the biggest thing to me. It doesn't seem right to just disingenuously just shrug all conspiracies aside because a few of them, few people make it crazy. But I mean, shit, Pearl Harbor, we know the Gulf of Tonkin, like we know all these bad shit happened, and they lied to us. It's not even about the shape. Fuck, I know they didn't lie about the shape. I get that now. But yeah, they'll lie about almost anything else if they can. If they can get away with it or think they can, they will. Or if they don't, if it's worth getting caught, they don't give a fuck. But the realization is that the government, they don't tell us everything. They just don't. That's as real as it gets right there. I mean, everyone can hate conspiracies, but guess what? There's always something to it. May not be what you're hearing at that time, but someone's telling you something, but there's something to it. I mean, name one conspiracy that just has absolutely nothing to do with anything at all. Period. It was just completely 1,000,000,000% made up. Not even the topic could be a situation in a situation. That's what you got to realize. Yep. That's all I got to say about that. Anybody want to talk flat Earth? Where's Chris Berry? I want his ass to get up here. Oh, I want his. I got.
Is there still such a thing as flat Earth? I thought we dealt with that a long time ago.
We did, and it's or you did. Thank you for your legwork. They're only globe deniers, and that's as serious as it fucking gets.
Pretty sure my video today completely debunks flat Earth altogether.
Every single one you do does. Every single one. It's awesome.
It's easy to debunk.
That's the thing that. See, it's frustrating because, real shit, we should all have one more conversation and then mic drop and get the fuck out, but we don't. Like we are worse than flat earthers. Understand that. And guess what, Tim, you're the worst because you've been here the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the sick ones. Trust me. We all call them sick. Nope, we are the sick ones. We have had so many fucking mic drop opportunities, and we just don't do it.
Here's the way I see it. I live in Niagara Falls, Canada. So, of course, Toronto Maple Leafs is our big NHL team, right? And they never win. They never do nothing. But every year at the beginning of the season, some stupid sports network says, "Oh, the Leafs player so-and-so is going to make this team amazing." And hundreds of thousands of Leafs fans buy into it, hook, line, and sinker, and they cheer their asses off for the entire season until they get beat out again. And Flat Earth's the same way. Everything's against them, but one person says the one thing they want to hear and need to hear, and they're all in once again.
I don't see it. I don't see how. Literally, to me, it doesn't make sense. I can think in my head and remember each step of going away from flat Earth as I was so deep into it. It was like I started learning shit, and it was like, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. And it's like, okay, I'm getting kind of sick of saying this don't work. It gets old. I want to have a conversation with someone and be right.
You know what bugs me? I've been arguing with flat earthers for quite a while, and I could turn around tomorrow and say, you know what? I was wrong. I think you guys got something. I think the Earth's flat, and I would be their best friend. But then somebody like you or Jose that says, I tried it, nothing worked. They totally shit. They don't have any respect for your opinions, your thoughts, or nothing. They just totally disrespect you and shit all over you.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I can argue with them and treat them like shit for 3-4 years. And if I switch to their side, all of a sudden I'm their best friend.
That is that's a big thing too that's going on. I've said it 1,000. Figuring out who's flat Earth and who is friend, very difficult for me. That's my situation. At the same time, it goes. At the very least, the people that know me, especially the people that know me, I talk like this, so all that, you trust your government, you trust NASA, they're your best. Like, you can't be saying that shit to me because I have issues with them all. and I think those things is the bigger issue. Like, you guys are that you're making clicks, you're making cults because you instantly should shun somebody because they don't think like you. Kind of weird. And I didn't think it was like that until recently. I didn't see it until now. Sucks, but hey, you do.
The best was when Timmy Osmond first came out and said, "Oh, I'm a flat earther because Americana," and so many of those idiots didn't get what he was saying, and they're like, "Oh." They were all cheering because Tim Osmond's a flat earther now. It was like they won the fucking Olympics.
Oh yeah, I heard that and I was like, what are you guys talking about? No, he's not.
Even Antonio Subrat's, I think that kind of actually demonstrates that, and I've said this before, that satire and comedy and humor is kind of lost on them. They're so serious about the shape of the Earth now, they can't even recognize it. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yeah.
If I could be God for a day, I would turn Earth into a fucking pyramid and just fuck with them all.
Man, I wish Bill Gates wasn't such a dickhead. He could put that money to just he could be the guy who ended flat Earth if he just gave a fuck for 5 minutes.
No, there's no ending.
We're sending rockets.
Go ahead,
Sending
Rob.
rockets into space, and several organizations like Bezos just sent their test pod into space with a test payload, and actually landed it on Earth. Now, a couple of the landing gear broke when it hit the Earth, but I mean, they're literally like probably 12 months away from being able to risk flying people up into space, and flat earthers are still calling it CGI. Like their arguments aren't even getting any better.
I always ask this question: when do you think we will be able to go to space? You know what I mean? It's like for instance, mind of God, who's all into technology. How do you think? Like, we've been trying for a long time, don't you think? When do you think we figure this shit the fuck out? It's not that difficult. I mean, well, wait, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it's not that difficult. I meant it's not that difficult to figure out that we've been at it a long time. They probably can get up there. I had an argument with a kid about the whole Apollo technology thing and getting back out to the moon. And I'm gonna tell everyone right now, I'm not 100% that we landed on the moon, mainly because I don't get it and it doesn't make sense how they did all the stuff they did. Maybe one day. I'm still looking into it, and it does interest me. So I'll probably find out eventually. But again, it's like this: a digital watch and an analog watch. Can you use those parts to make a super watch? No. The two different types of watches, two different types of technology, guys. New technology has its downsides, its errors, its faults. Guess what? I think we know now that bad stuff has happened. Kind of don't want to risk it as much, and if it's not worth the risk, why would you send people to the moon for what? It's not worth it yet. They rather do it safely. Bring people back. So yeah, they're gonna do it differently than you guys assume they should be doing it.
Well, when I was in public school, I had to do a science. Well, I guess it was for science class back then. An experiment. And I made a telegraph, right, where you could send like Morse code. Well, it'd be like me trying to send Morse code to Nathan Oakley's cell phone. It ain't gonna fucking work. And what they don't realize is, you could old tech going through the Van Allen belt when it was all analog and it was all coil spring tension and pressure and this, that, and the other. It was one thing, but once you go digital, most people build their own. A lot of these people build their own computers and realize that if they get an electrostatic shock and hit their motherboard and zap it, it can fry the whole motherboard. But yeah, when it comes to rocket ships going to space, they don't want to buy it. They don't want to believe it. Like they're just in denial.
It's got to be the same. See, this is one of the confusing things, because I can see how I couldn't imagine the Earth in its entirety before. Now I can, because I can add different ideas and construct them in my brain. But it's like, even those simple steps that I try to explain to somebody that you can do that, they're not willing to to step out of that and go, oh shit, yeah, you're right. What I see is nothing compared to Earth. And what you're explaining, it makes sense. I may not agree with it, but now I got to go back to the drawing board and figure out how that happens. That doesn't happen. That's what irritates me. That's why Chris irritates the shit out of me. He purposely finds a great picture and he purposely finds a shitty picture and then he presents it. Can't stand that shit.
Yeah, there's still a gap that needs to be bridged between the shills and the ones that like Nathan Oakley. Nathan Oakley knows the Earth is a sphere.
Yeah.
But he's lying because he also knows that if he says all the right things, that the intellectually challenged are going to send him super chats because he's telling them what they want to hear. And those people, the ones that aren't capable of understanding it, they're going to feel like they're a bit.
You're so choppy right now.
Boy, that.
Hey,
Oh,
you,
okay,
you
sorry.
may need to back out of that hangout and then come back in. I don't know what it is, but yeah, we're getting like half syllables now.
All right.
Yeah, we're good a second ago. Don't move. It's there's definitely a disconnect that I see. It's that's the thing though. That's kind of one of the things I enjoy doing when I go over to the server, and I just kind of say something about geoengineering or some conspiracy that I'm looking into, and everyone just goes, "Nope, not real." And you go, "Damn." Get ready, Sean. Tough crowd. Let's go. People don't get it. You just got to discern through information and realize who's saying what is crap. And it's the same thing for Flat Earth. 100%. I'm sorry. Nathan, put it this way, if you're able to understand how something works, you know what you would do? You would stand on every platform and go, Flat Earth, figured it out. Let me on your panel. Let's get this done. No one's doing that. I mean, you guys present, but no one's presenting some shit where Globers are going, fuck, we're screwed. Every time you guys do an experiment, we go, yeah, post that one, please. Perfect. Every time.
Yeah, I think, I don't care that people think the Earth is flat. What bugs people that lie to make $1 over it. That's what bugs me.
Yeah, that's my problem. Me too. It's like I don't get. Like I've said, making money is perfectly fine. Good on you. Right up until you have to lie to keep getting that money.
Yeah, and I mean, like people like Nathan Oakley, they don't even understand Coriolis. They think Coriolis is the Earth spinning under a helicopter. Like they have no clue what it even means.
Well, here's the problem. Does he know? But that's the thing. Does he know? Because I think he knows. He's been told what 100 times. That's the scary part. Telling someone something 100 times, and 101 time, you go, "Hey,
yeah, not."
You understand that?" And they go, "No." Well, answer it. And it's like, okay, I see it. That's why I won't talk. I hate talking to Chemo for that reason. He'll ask a question 30 minutes into the conversation, like he wasn't even there.
Yeah, I'm prepping to go on Nathan Oakley's show and smash him, but so far I've only got Coriolis, the mixed pressure thing down. So I know I've got at least 8 more that
Your phone sucks Balzac. You're done. No, stop. Back the fuck out, Rob, and come back, please. Please. Dude, every time you talk, you sound like... That's what you sound like. I hate it. I won't go on. So I've been in contact with Riley for about a week and a half now, about pretty much every upload he does about how he's wrong. And he keeps going, come on Nathan's. And I keep going, dude, I told you this a long time ago. I'm not ever going on Nathan's. I get triggered too easily. He's going to call me a fucking idiot and I'm going to go off on him.
Am I any better now?
Yep, so far.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm I'm preparing to go on Nathan's and just smash him. But so far, I've only got the Coriolis and the second law thermal thing down. So I've got about 8 more points that I need to get down that are bulletproof against them. But I'm just going to go on and smash him to bits, because if I start beating him on, say, Coriolis, he's just going to change the subject to something else, right?
I think he'll just call you names and then avoid talking to you altogether.
Yeah, well, that 140-pound wet behind the ears piece of shit ain't fucking. He can call me names all he wants. It ain't gonna get to me.
Because the dishonesty of it is bad. Because Chris is dishonest. Or see, I don't even know if it's Chris or that fucking loser red pill. So that image that we've all been talking about, that across the waterway in Florida, like the elevation of the picture's different. But here's the problem that I didn't hear until my boy Barney said something yesterday. There's a whole community in between those trees and the resort, like a huge community, like huge, that they don't talk about, because that makes a difference.
Yeah, the buildings are on the opposite side of that island.
Yeah. The whole, it's like, the whole opposite side of it. The way, it irritates the crap out of me when he does that. And I even tell him, stop. I said, even at the same, get good pictures, man. Stop picking the fuzzy one. Granted, he did win yesterday. Tim, I'm not sure if you heard about that. He won an argument. He won an argument legit. Like, legit won. He made a claim, presented his evidence, and he was right. We all had to cede to him. You're right. He left happy that day, yesterday. It was great for him. I was proud of him.
I think Chris Berry and the Mind of God are doing some sort of thesis where they're trying to show how social media can sway certain demographics of society. I don't think they think the Earth is flat at all.
Mind of God, I think, does, because he's kind of gone in the head when it comes to the Jesus thing. When I say that, I mean like that's the drive behind him. It's not anything else. But it's his belief. I question Chris. I think he's a lot closer to like Quantum Eraser and all them than we all realize, and he's really pushing to be like, one of their Rileys or some shit. He wants to be one of the top flat earthers with them. I don't know. I can't explain why he would do the shit he does over and over again.
So we started working on going back and looking at Mind of God's drone experiment and everything that could be wrong with that earlier today.
He did, or you guys did?
We did. We were bored.
Well, it needs to be done over and over again, because I don't know if he understands. I'm pretty sure he understands everything up until like the logistics of how that plane flies itself and would shoot at the ground. But yeah. I mean, he doesn't get all like ballistic with me anymore. Like, we're actually pretty cool. So I don't get when he does that stuff. I almost say he does it to me on purpose. That bridging thing I call it. But I think that's because he enjoys doing that to me, because he knows it'll make me laugh. But every time I do see him getting that weird militant thing, it irritates the crap out of me, because I know for a fact he doesn't need to be like that all the time.
No, we were working on the plot lines for flying a true straight line over a long distance and trying to work out the math earlier.
Well, you guys do understand that you can start at one spot and just go to the other spot, take a shot, and then you just take shots in a line all the way back. It's that easy.
Yeah, I know. But we were still trying to work it out exactly how it'd play out and what we should see versus what should happen on a flat and a round Earth.
I just want Mind of God to understand that his hallway and his apartments, that shit ain't flat.
Yeah.
It ain't flat at all.
But for what Mind of God's wanting done, in order for it to meet his criteria, I would have to find some way to bypass the altitude hold functions on my drone without affecting its other flight modes.
See, that's the part he doesn't get. See, what he's even asking you to do is exactly what how gravity and all the other forces that work on that plane say it has to do. If you're gonna stay at that altitude, you got to give it. You got to basically stay at that same throttle, that percentage. And if you want to, gain altitude, you got to give it a little. You want to lower, take a little off.
Yeah.
It's like he explains it to you.
We were bored, and the discussion got brought up while we were working on another project. And next thing I know, we had the dry erase board and shit out trying to figure some basics out. Like I said, we're just a bunch of mechanics and nerds. So
I actually enjoy that. That's the how to do something aspect of it is the funnest part of an experiment or what I used to call them. We call them builds. You just have a fucking 2-3 hour conversation about just rambling and no one's fighting. That's what I prefer. That's how I started. That's how I like to do it.
Hey, I got a question for you. If we could snap our fingers and eliminate the top 50 most notorious flat earthers, do you think we'd be able to talk sense into the rest of them if the Nathan Oakleys and the Jaronisms and the
I don't
Bob
even know.
If we
I don't even
the minions would listen.
I don't even know 50 flat Earth content creators. To tell you the truth, I didn't watch very many. I knew of Nathan because he was like the hallmark flat earther when I came around. Now he's crazy, and I'm sorry, mind of God, Nathan is fucking crazy. I don't care. I'll say he's crazy. That dude is a lunatic. He's gonna kill somebody one day, and all you motherfuckers are gonna be like, "Damn, Sean was right." I watched the progression of psychopath enter that man's body, and then express itself through Q's videos.
We'll see what they have to say about my experiment late next week. So if the weather holds, we should be doing our flights on Wednesday and Thursday.
And I wasn't sure. Are you guys going to try to do it live?
We will be doing the actual experiments live, yes.
Okay, awesome.
And recording the raw data so we can upload it in better quality after we, clip all the dead air out. Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of dead air on the live version of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, obviously, but
for some people actually, will enjoy watching it full, all the way through.
Well, the other thing with doing it live is like stuff like your observation you want us to do. We can do multiple shots of it or get other ideas of what somebody wants us to try, or if somebody wanted us to do something different with what we're doing, we'll have that feedback live while we're there to try it out.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's perfect.
Like I said,
honestly, I don't know how your setup is. Does your camera have your controller have a monitor on it, or is that those high tech ones and stuff like that, or the drones?
I could add a monitor to it. My controller, no. Let me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I remember. I think.
Let me find it. I had it sitting here by the computer, but we were working on some other stuff because I was playing around with some settings on it earlier, getting it ready for
Crash. Can you do me a favor? One favor.
Yeah.
I need you to change your avatar picture to an RC plane until the experiment's over. Because you got an RC 110, and every time I look at your avatar, I think, why does he have a car, an RC car, but he's doing an RC plane experiment?
Yeah, I'll get that done. Hold on. But, let's see.
Because I used to do 1/8 scale crawlers. I used to build those. Those are fun.
Yeah, that's my 10 scale comp rig. It's actually a picture of the box. But
okay. Yeah.
Let me see. Come on, camera, boot up.
Yeah, and
there's the controller we'll actually be using to control the aircraft with.
Yeah.
So I can add a monitor to this external if I wanted to, but we're going to have the laptops and some other computer screens out there so we can get better shots.
Yeah. Besides, that's all like that high tech. Those cameras are actually dangerous, so people know. I've actually watched guys that do have those monitors go dive bomb their planes because they're watching the monitor, not their plane. They think they can fly. They can just fly the monitor like it's the thing to do. Like, oh,
No, there's a lot of latency there.
Yeah.
It's the reason I can fly a race drone if I'm looking at it, but the minute I put goggles on, like I had a video up for a while, the minute I put goggles on, just that little bit of delay
Yeah.
throws your timing off, and I
Mhm.
couldn't get my head.
And
I've been flying model aircraft since I was 12 years old, so almost 20 years now, before FPV came out.
Mm.
So that little bit of lag really throws off my timing and muscle memory, and I'm having a hard time retraining everything to work.
Yeah, I definitely can see what you're saying on that because that's it. Also adds to it that because like I used to do a lot of like mountain racing in cars, and I realized real quick like that feeling that you put that you put against the inertial force, like that matters. Like all that stuff matters to how you feel the turn and how you fly your plane. Like you're having to disconnect yourself and be the plane. It's a
Yeah,
different story. Yeah.
it's like I can do the FPV thing a little bit, but I would never trust truly flying, especially a large aircraft like we're doing. There's no way I would trust
Yeah.
myself to fly that purely FPV.
Well, like those, like yours too. People don't realize like it's about a 1.6. These are like the kill somebody hit range when they hit. If you get hit by one of these things, you're dead. Pretty much.
Yeah,
Not every time, but it does happen.
We had that up at the hobby shop. We had that I used to work for. We had the wall of shame from guys with mangled fingers and stitches, and a sign above it that said, "If you think these are toys, you are wrong. Best case scenario, they will hurt you. Worst case scenario, they will kill you."
Yeah, yeah. My dad, the very first RC plane I got, was one of the gliders that you actually pick up and you actually toss into the sky. My dad instantly or made a tripod, like a catapult. I mean, because he said you will never in your life get near that plane when we start putting engines in it. So why get used to doing it now? I'm like, cool. So I've had a few planes, but I'm still one of those guys that I'll fly it for 3 or 4 days like a fucking champ, and then that one time I'm gonna do this. Yeah, that's me.
Like I was big into the scale competition aerobatics when I was younger and had fast reflexes.
Yeah, those are great. I've been to those. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's some like what the guys like Kike Saminazi and some of the other world class pilots can do with a fixed wing aircraft is amazing.
Yeah, hang on. Yesterday, I showed you guys what we were talking about, and I actually got a copyright, not a copyright strike, it's copyright mark, and it's on this channel, so I don't really care. But I don't want to play it again because I can't air yesterday's on Sean G's channel, the Sean G channel, because I know it will get a strike. So, and that's still in process. That's a long process that's going to happen, but I will be getting the channel back 100%.
Yeah, I uploaded a walk around of the aircraft we'll be using for our demonstration yesterday.
Yeah, I put your link in the chat for your channel. I don't know where you get it from, but I need your Discord because I don't actually have the Discord. I thought I had it from that last time, the first day you came in, but I don't have that. I need it.
Let me see if I can grab a link to that.
Yeah.
Right. Let me mute this because my keyboard's loud as hell.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. Yeah. I like this guy. It's definitely he's giving everyone the opportunity. I like the fact that I had an opportunity to throw in an idea in for him to do. So I think it's cool. How you doing, Q?
Hey, what's up? I'm just working on a video.
Ah, awesome.
Listening.
Awesome. No worries.
That's why I'm so quiet. I barely know. I mean, I've been listening, but I barely know what the hell you guys are talking about at the moment. I think you're talking about RC planes and shit.
Yeah. Crash, the guy here he's gonna do he's got a 1/6 scale plane, RC plane. He's gonna do a couple experiments. One with like the density column. He has to explain it. I can't even explain it. Basically, he's gonna mimic the vomit comet, and then
Yeah, I know about that.
yeah. And then he's gonna do a few other tests that at request. Like I requested one. I'm not sure if anyone else has yet though.
There you go. I dropped a link to my Discord in the side chat.
Yeah, I see it. Thank you.
So my keyboard's loud as hell and old, so I figured it was just better off to mute myself while I was doing that.
Oh well, some of us are used to being in the Discord, and if you are in debate and flat earth and more, you know what a moyoc is, and no one abuses their computer like he does. Yeah, he sounds like he's hitting it with a sledgehammer every time. It's crazy. Feel sorry for keyboards after that. Yeah, but
they were over on our Discord. I don't know where the alerts came from, but there were some on our Discord last night asking questions. And I told them, I said, if you have questions about what we're doing, cool. If you want to talk about other random BS, it's not the place for it.
Yeah. Do you remember who? Yeah, you'll get that. Random people from everywhere. Because I know I'm hearing about you and hearing about your experiment going on now. You know, offset of just here. So it's definitely becoming making waves, my friend. You're making waves. Good job.
They shouldn't have called me an uneducated idiot that couldn't perform an experiment. So
Question a man's abilities. He's going to show you he can do it. Go ahead.
It wasn't that hard, dude. It took us like a good solid night of doing some basic internet research to see what kind of aircraft we would need and what kind of maneuvers it would have to perform, and it went on from there.
Has anybody done this before? Like, it doesn't seem impossible. Has anyone done this, this actual test before that we know of?
I haven't found a miniature version of this test. The only tests I've been able to see were performed by like space agencies and the Vomit Comet and all the ISS and other stuff.
Well, I'm assuming that's the crux of why the flat earthers were gung ho about this testing, right?
Yeah. So I haven't seen a miniature version. The thing everybody's been doing now is the accelerometer app on your phone and screen saving it and dropping it on your bed, which gives you a very short time window to record it in.
Yeah. I want to do that.
We'll have a much larger window to do it because I plan on. I acquired an old functional Samsung Galaxy yesterday that we downloaded just that app to, so we can set it inside the plane and record it.
Just let it go. Yeah, those things are crazy. Like, I have one on my phone, and it's like, I still don't know how to read it. And it jumps around. Like, it's cool, though, because you can tell when you're, like, going downhill and uphill and stuff. I think that's cool.
So our telemetry system, the tracking numbers have it arriving here tomorrow, so we can get that installed on the aircraft. And we're going to go out maybe Sunday if the weather's nice and just get some test flights in on the aircraft, get the motor ran in, figure out which propeller I want to use on the front of it, because I may play around with that just because I'm going to be carrying around roughly 6 pounds of extra weight on the aircraft. So
what's the plane's payload and its net weight?
Without anything attached to it is 15 pounds.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fucking lot of weight then. Damn.
Yeah. It's not a small aircraft by any means.
Damn. Yeah, that's. I'm thinking the equivalent of 6 pounds to a 15-pound plane. That's like a commercial jet carrying another commercial jet almost, a slightly smaller one.
Yeah, we've sufficiently overpowered it with a larger motor than what it calls for, so I'm not too much worried about thrust. It's finding the thrust. We don't have a variable pitch prop like a full-size aircraft does. Our props are fixed pitch. So I have several different pitch props so I can get the thrust I want out of it at a RPM the motor's happy with.
Okay, I see.
But that'll be the first couple days test flights, is figuring out what prop I want to fly on the plane.
Okay. So, you already said it. You're going to be doing, multiple tests. It's not going to be just the one.
No, we're going to do, so we're going to be trying different speeds to see what it does to the density column. So the standing ideal for gravity is its downward accelerating force at 9.8 meters per second squared. So when we do that acceleration, everything should disorganize and have no organization in the density column whatsoever. And when we pull out, gravity should take back over and level everything out. The other thing we were talking to people about was if I can achieve enough of an acceleration from a high enough altitude to not plow the plane into the runway and get enough acceleration out of it, I can make the density column reform itself in reverse. But that's doing the math on that. I'll be cutting it very close to my ability to pull the aircraft back out of the dive.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Like, I'm in my brain. I'm trying to look it up right now. I don't know what you mean with the fluids. Like, what it'll do.
So, like, if you have oil and water just sitting on your desk, they'll separate out due to density.
Yes. Okay.
So if you take gravity out of that equation, there's nothing to give that density column any organization, so they'll freely mix up. So we're going to use oil, water, and avgas, which will give me 3 separate layers in my density column, flying flat and level. When we go into our dive and begin accelerating at the same speed as gravity, they'll completely mix up and deorganize themselves, and the minute we pull back out, they'll separate back out. If you look at the Vomit Comet experiment, they had some kind of blue liquid and water in a container, and when they started their zero gravity dive, it just turned into one really light blue blob, and the instant they started pulling out of it and applying gravity again, it separated back out into 2 distinct layers. Which I was told was CGI. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so this is Kevin LeBrink's website. Okay, so he's explaining it basically, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, I'm getting it. And I'll put the link in the chat for everyone. Kind of weary at the moment.
Yeah, it's just like air bubbles. Like if I could find a way to inject air bubbles into it while we were diving, the bubbles wouldn't move. They would stay wherever they were placed into the container.
And then it'll separate itself back out like this?
Yep. As soon as you apply gravity back into the equation and negate the acceleration. So at the bottom of this parabolic dive, there we go. That's actually the experiment we're going to do in small scale right there. So you'll be able to watch them when they start going into microgravity. That fluid will completely lose its organization.
It'll do that.
Yeah. And then once they start to regain gravity, that whole column will separate itself back out.
I didn't like how he just shook it. How come he's not? He's all strapped in. That sucks. Everyone gets to be all weightless, and he has to stay strapped in.
Yeah. So as you can see, as they're starting to regain their grounding and coming back down, it's already starting to separate itself back out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can see it starting to.
So as they're in free fall, it'll stay emulsified and mixed. But as they regain gravity again.
See, why does he do that? Why does he? That's not necessary.
I don't believe so.
See,
everybody I've discussed it. All he did there by tipping it upside down was disorganize it
faster.
Faster, because on the Vomit Comet, see, they have things I don't have to worry about. Like they got to worry about actually killing the people in there. I don't have that problem.
Yeah.
Which is the other thing that we're going to be experimenting with, is because it's acceleration based, I can bring my aircraft to a stall where it's no longer flying and begin my dive that way at a much slower speed and then accelerate down out of it. The other thing we're going to test is once you reach terminal velocity, the density column should separate itself back out. And then if I apply throttle to accelerate again, it should disorganize itself.
Oh, when you're coming over.
So if I put it in a power off free fall, once I hit terminal velocity, you stop accelerating.
Yeah.
Because of drag and resistance and everything else.
Yeah.
So the column will separate back out. But the minute I apply throttle to begin traveling faster than that and hit 9.81 meters per second squared again, it'll lose its organization in the column.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So you're. I know this. You'll probably know it. You're gonna have to cover some significant altitude to be able to do this.
Yeah. Yep. That's why we're doing it. I got permission to perform it at a small private airport here, so I'm not limited by the RC aviation altitude restriction of 400 feet.
Oh yeah. Well, I know they made, what is that? I think drones out here are 10,000, and that's not, these are not RC size drones, people. the big drones, that 10,000 feet, I think, is their deck right now. I think the FAA is trying to lower the deck on personal RC planes or RC drones.
The RC drone with RC drones and aircraft, we have to no higher than 400 feet without special permission waivers.
Yeah, well, they're trying to lower it. I know,
Yeah,
they're in communities. They're trying to lower the deck. I think it's like 50 feet in communities.
Yeah, there's reasons for that. That's why I'm a strong supporter of the AMA and flying at your local airfield.
Well, that goes into the sickos with the cameras.
Yeah, and there's other things involved with, like, a lot of people get them and have no clue how to fly them and don't realize how dangerous they can be if something happens and they like fall from the sky.
Yeah,
or even just the batteries on them. We're getting ready to do a demonstration because me and Zach ran across a bad battery for my A-scale buggy. Have you ever seen a LiPo fire?
Yes, sir. I did the RC thing, so yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and it is people. Yeah, you know how people say don't mess with AA battery. Those things are nothing. These batteries, it's like you pretty much are waiting for this opportunity to happen for you, and that's called blowing up.
Yeah, it's we found one out of my A-scale buggy that was swelled up, so we're going to take it out to the country and shoot it with a pellet gun.
Ooh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, get the lovely smoke, 6,000 degree burn for each cell that you can't put out.
Yeah, those are fun.
And then we can safely dispose of whatever's left.
Yeah, when I first started using those, it scared the crap because it was just in the part where they started making the chargers for them, and know, that they drain them and then build them up. And before that, obviously it was put it on for an hour, take it off in 50 minutes.
Yep.
And was the method I learned on. So when I knew about lipos, it was like downplayed, so I didn't feel like I was going to constantly kill myself. But yeah, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. That's why they're always wrapped, super wrapped.
Yeah,
don't unwrap those ever.
No, it's like if you go to the racetracks now, especially the indoor tracks, our insurance makes us charge them in a fireproof bag.
Oh, you're talking about for the cars, okay? Yeah. I used to marshal for the off-road tracks, which is another stupid thing. You think fucking being a roadie for bulls is stupid? Go be a marshal at a fucking track.
Yeah.
When you leave, you'll realize what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 60-pound RC cars at full throttle that nobody pays attention to turn marshal.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, you're flipping my car over here. Let me jump over the top of you while you're doing that.
Oh, yeah. I had a guy. It was a demo outside of a hobby, like a play with those old hobby store ones. I forget what it's called. But it was an outdoor demo, and they were doing the little drift cars. And under those cars, the wheels and the bottom become scalding hot. So the rule is if a marshal is touching your car, get the fuck off your controller. Yeah, this guy didn't do that, so he skimmed the whole bottom of his car on the bottom of my hand and just fucking tore the skin off it. I was so pissed.
I've been knocked unconscious by cars at the track before, so
I can't lie. I've been taken off my feet quite a few times.
I was running. Have you seen the A-scale on-road guys? 130, 140 mile an hour cars.
Yes.
I was at an AMA regional pitting for a buddy of mine, and somebody lost brakes while they were coming into pit and caught the end of the pipe just wrong, and that car nailed me. I woke up like an hour later and didn't know what the hell went on.
Yeah, it's bad. There's a guy up at one of the crawling spots that I used to go to where we competed at, and he brought one of those the truggles. He thought a truggle out there because he thought it'd be fun. And I watched that guy climb about a 45-foot rock face and skip, and roll the whole way down. And everyone, and it was like, oh, that's why all those RC and model things, things are fun. So fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's a fun hobby. It's definitely what we're doing is not for entry-level pilots.
Oh, yeah.
Type of deal.
Yeah.
I've made that disclaimer once in one of my videos already. What we're doing is don't do it outside of a controlled airspace or airfield.
Yeah, but you're doing something that it is dangerous. It's one of those things where if you don't do what you're supposed to do within that minuscule window you have, you're going to be picking parts up.
Oh yeah.
And that's
There's
the
also
realization
like
of it.
since I don't have a starter big enough to start that motor, I'll be starting it by hand. So there's like a 50% chance I'll lose a finger.
All for flat
It'll be
Earth,
fun.
huh? All for flat Earth?
Yeah. Yeah. Just because they told me I couldn't.
Yeah.
In fact, when we did our live stream earlier today, Zach was getting it started in the background. It kicked back and whacked the back of his hand pretty good. So
Good. I have a buddy who has a Harley. Hang on. I have a buddy who has a Harley. And anyone who has a Harley knows the compression is what it's all about. Yeah, so he has his kickstart to this stupid, like, it is fucking retarded compression. To the point where, if you miss, going to break your fucking shin. How do I know? He's done it twice now.
I had to have I used to have a 73 Sportster that was kick only.
Oh my god.
That we hot rodded, and I had to go have surgery on the bones in the bottom of my foot because it kicked back and broke all the metatarsal bones in the bottom of my foot.
Spurred oh yeah. I can't. I rode a bike for 3 months and went. Nothing happened. It was great 3 months, and I went. Everyone has a story. Get the fuck off this bike. Don't have a story. And I was like, cool. Besides, I like four wheels. I'm an off-roader. I like that. I hate motorcycles. Not fun. Not fun at all.
What's up, Big Blue?
What's up, sir? You know what I just realized? I haven't looked at the chat once. I'm sorry, guys. It's crashed.
I was watching.
I don't know if I have. Oh, that's what I wanted to say because I wanted to talk about that the incident that happened yesterday.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, sir? Now, Blue, Chris was right, and we gave him, we gave him credit for where he was right and how he presented his evidence. But I want to tell everyone that doesn't mean he wasn't wrong in his observations. It doesn't mean that Red Pill isn't a fucking shady motherfucker. Like Chris came at it and proved what he wanted to say, and he was right. Did it. But it doesn't mean he was right. He's still wrong. I'm kind of pissed he didn't show up because he was talking a lot of shit in the chat today and at Jose's.
Well, he just proved it, that's all.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And I'm sorry. I didn't even find out. Barney's the one who was like, there's a lot of stuff there. Lewis was like, there's a whole community in between that shit. And they don't depict that at all. And it matters. It matters a lot. Yeah, it's a fun day today. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna go live or not. Because I have this perfect presentation for this whole fucking climate shit. And every time I start putting everything together, my computer does the overclock crash and everything gets wiped off again. So and I don't save it because I'm an idiot. I don't know why. But I've done it 3 times now. I know exactly what's going to go into it. I just keep losing it. All right, let's get in this chat because I have not been paying attention. I apologize, people. Yeah, like I said, man, I wish Chris would show up.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
I'm just sharing links to my videos that I made today in your chat.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I did. I already posted them.
Good shit. Good shit.
So I just made it finish the second one.
See, I wish my edits took that long. My edits take me a week to do my intro. That's how long it took me to do my intro, a week. Because I'm like my worst critic, so I watch it and I go, oh, that's fucking nasty. Oh, that's ugly.
The first one was only 57 seconds long, and the second one's only 1 minute and 56 seconds.
That would have taken me a month. I'm still working. Like the crazy thing is the intro I have That's not even my intro. That's literally me sampling the 3 different songs I liked. And I just aired it.
Yeah, usually the thing that takes me the longest is figuring out what the fuck I'm gonna make, not how to make it or making
Yeah,
it.
yeah. No, hello, Moto. Every step annoys the shit out of me. I like doing it. It's fun as shit, but I don't like hearing myself. So if I have to talk in the upload, that upload may take a month.
Yeah, but I threw that video earlier today that you played here.
Mhm.
I'll threw that together in like probably less than an hour.
Yes, I can't. Everything I try to do that. I was trying to do an intro before I started this. Does never works. I can't do it. Too hard. Like I said, if I have to do an upload, I have to talk in. Oh, shuff. It'll take me forever. I've edited myself out of uploads before. I'll just put text in there. Forget it.
Yeah, whatever.
It happens. Yeah, so just so you guys know, I'm trying to post, get pictures to the OBS that I wanted to before for tomorrow, obviously. I get.
Are you hearing me, Sean?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good now. If you were talking before, I didn't. Now I do.
Yeah, my next to 0 every time I
Yeah.
every time I switch out.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with it's the Hangouts. It's not.
I don't know.
No, it's definitely the Hangouts because it was happening before to somebody. Who was it? I think it was to Rob. And I've heard it on other people's. It's literally the Hangouts. They're doing something to it, and it's just messing everything up. I can tell they're doing stuff to it because they keep adding different apps and little things I could do on as my little toolboxes on it. Keeps changing on me, so I know they're doing something to it. But I am working on, or not even working on it, but an idea to work on. You can do your own little what do you call it? I guess it's like an app. I guess we can do it through Hangouts, or the Hangouts. You can make one of these that you can customize and make it so you have to sign in to come in here and stuff like that. You can do all that stuff with these Hangouts. I just got to learn how to do it again. I've made one. I just don't know how to build customize it and that shit yet. I didn't know if people knew that, but yeah, they do give you the option of customizing and making your own Hangout. That one you can make sniper proof. That one's, but no one never makes it.
Yeah.
When's the big flight, buddy?
It'll be mid to the end of next week. The weather is clearing up here, and I have permission to fly at the small local airport near me. Wednesday or Thursday.
Cool.
Man,
that's going to be interesting.
You know what would really help? If you can get a flat earther out there.
I think I have better chance of hitting the lottery than getting a flat earther to show up at an experiment.
Or better yet, this is the most important. Don't answer to anyone who's just blatantly saying you lied about it, because they weren't interested in the truth anyway. You know what I mean? Explain it, defend it, but you're a shill. Those aren't real. Once you get that, avoid those people. Don't fight them. It's not worth it. That kind of attitude is.
No, you get a bunch of nuh-uhs.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to tell me that it's CGI, but if you look at my channel, I don't have the greatest production values on YouTube.
Oh, no, but you work for NASA, so, this is a persona. This is your alias, your undercover. I mean, dude, you're a mechanic, and you're about to do a fucking experiment? What? I think that's probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard. They really said that to you?
Yeah, they're.
Wait,
We've invited a couple people that have been on a couple of my hangouts. And if
Told
you
you.
think we're faking something, come on out, and
You-
we're going to be doing it live. So we're open to do. If you want us to change something, let us know. We'll have the Sky Vector with us, so I can change any parameter of the flight that you think we're not doing right. I can change it and prove that we did it.
who said this to you?
Let's see. Mind of God did on my channel the other night when he was here, and then
He doesn't count.
the lovely idiot JM Truth after I
Oh,
tried
hell
to
no.
comment on his video about combustion. That's what started this whole damn thing.
Yeah.
So
That guy is a liar. He is not anything but a liar. I went on to Nathan's. You were there, Rob. Last time I'll ever do that again. And right out the gate, they lied out their ass. I'm like, I jumped on because he kept saying the moon has no atmosphere. And I went, no, wait. You're kind of being, or he said that you were taught there was no atmosphere. I went, that's not entirely true. Like they teach you like it's this minute, very minute, like there is an amount. And he goes, are you really going to compare it? I'm like, what is zero? Not compare? Is it the same as one? Like, and then half a second later he goes, you know what? You're right. We I can see to that. We weren't taught that it was nothing. 3 seconds later, that's his argument again. We were taught. I'm like, are you serious? That guy's a liar. I hate that guy.
they tried to tell me that electromagnetism was the reason I had to rejet my Harley Davidson when I go up through the mountains. So
What the hell did you just say to me?
yeah.
See, that's why I'm not fucking with him. Fuck that. And you tried to warn me, Rob. I didn't listen.
I heard that conversation about rejetting when you were talking about rejetting your bike, and I lived in Northern Ontario, so like I'm a diehard snowmobiler, right? I don't anymore because we don't have enough snow where I'm living now in Niagara Falls. But you want to talk about needing to rejet? There's a major difference between an average of 0 degrees and an average of say -10. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if your snow machine's jetted for 0 degrees and it's -10 or vice versa, it's like Bog City. I mean, you got no response or nothing. So, but they have no clue. They have no idea.
Yeah. But basic stuff. My vintage Harley proves that there's a pressure gradient. How does it work?
Yeah, it's that frustrates me. Yeah, and here's the other thing. Even for Globers, if you're going to explain this, the laws of thermodynamics and closed and open system, please remind yourself to add that there's a third one out there. It's called the. Are you serious, Sean? You're about to go on a rant and you can't even remember the name.
Isolated.
Isolated. Thank you. Oh, that was a brain fart like no other. That was worst timing too. Yes, isolated, because that matters. Because we live in an open system, but I got an argument with Kosho over at the server. He's like, dude, no, it's kind of like a closed system, and I was like, dude, you're crazy. I don't want to hear you. But if you add in that the insulated system is involved in these theories and all that stuff, you realize that that's the one that we definitely do not live in, and that's why we know we're not in a dome. It has nothing to do with being close. We're not isolated. It's not an isolated system.
Well, that's exactly it. And the second law of thermodynamics relates to isolated systems.
Yes.
Those laws relate to, like, say, a propane tank or something, right? They don't. Those laws don't necessarily have to pertain to an open or a closed
Yeah, they
system.
specifically discuss a
These guys don't
pressurized.
understand.
Yeah. And Scott over at the server, he said this the best, and it was like, oh shit.
Pressurized is the exact opposite of something with a pressure gradient.
Say it again.
But a pressurized like canister is the exact opposite of a system with a pressure gradient.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the biggest problem that Flat Earth would have in that dome situation. No, because if you go 1,000 feet up, you instantly debunk that. and from what I heard, there is a gradient inside a can, but it's not like Not like we're experiencing.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
when they
clear.
You
talk
cannot
about
generate a stable pressure gradient in
It's
a
clear.
pressurized container.
Sorry. I was just going to say, it's clear that if the pressure is at the surface of the Earth, then that is where the pressure is pressing on the most, is at the bottom. If you go up top and there's hardly any pressure, then there's nothing pressing on the top.
Yes.
That's how it is.
You got all the way to the atmosphere above it.
On the water, guys. On the water. And
That's what
yeah,
a mercury barometer measures.
and water does not bend. You cannot pick water up and bend it. Doesn't work that way. I'm sorry.
I definitely don't want Nathan measuring the alcohol content in my corn whiskey.
Well, maybe you do.
No.
Well, Anthony Riley will put a TDS meter in it and tell you that it's, just dirty whiskey.
Yeah, and I like to say, Anthony Riley, I know you're not listening, but I'm gonna act like you are. If I call you out to come on my panel one-on-one, don't invite me to Nathan's panel. Thank you. That was ridiculous. Like, why don't you come on over? And then to add insult to injury, the asshole shares the hangout link with me in the DM. I could just hit the link at the show. Thanks.
I did a video measuring the density of salt water for Anthony Riley. But
A few of those tests.
respond.
I think every redneck in this part of the country I live knows more about specific gravity than he does.
Oh yeah.
I know we all know how to use a hydrometer.
Well, I did a video with a refractometer, so it's a little bit more technical than a hydrometer.
You betcha.
But the exact same result.
I just want them to be able to explain some shit. I got questions. You can find. You think you got questions? I got questions from 2.5 years ago. I'm waiting for answers for. Where are my answers?
And the only true way you can measure total dissolved solids is to evaporate all the liquid and measure the residue.
This is true.
That's literally how it's done.
We had to do that when I was in tech school when we were working with high performance fuels to see how much contaminants was in our fuels. Yeah, but I had fun in my extracurricular classes.
And other things will cause other Yeah, you can measure other electrolytes. Methanol will show up. It's got a specific gravity quite a bit lower than water.
Yep. Let's see.
But it'll look
when I got on there
like
and
total dissolved solids, which it is not.
when we got on that discussion on their channel that I think Rob heard and Lemonbird wanted to pipe up and said it was electromagnetic forces that caused that. Wouldn't that mean that at higher altitudes, when the magnetic field, according to them, was stronger, that my brushless DC motors would make more power?
That's actually a really good point. If it was magnetic, shouldn't the further out you go, the more of that force you would feel? Or if you went to see that'd be one thing. If you went to one of the poles and it was like that, wouldn't you fly off the Earth? Wouldn't it just repel you? Wouldn't there be another part like that? Isn't that how that works?
All right. Not exactly sure how it would work. Like I have a Gauss meter here because we competitively race electric RC powered cars. So I have the meters here for testing my magnetic fields, but I don't know exactly how they work. I just know that they work, and I trust that they work.
And you can verify it too. But no, that's here nor there, I guess.
Yeah, but when he was explaining that, I'm like, so if the magnetic field changes as I get higher, that would affect my motors, but they run pretty much
Man, my
exactly
stream's so
the
ready.
same.
I'm gonna get out and get back in and see if that fixes it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, like I said, I know it's Hangouts because everyone's popping to me, and I know it's not you guys because I'm going back to the stream and I hear it fine.
Everybody's Hangouts has been doing it the last couple days.
There's a guy in the chat that's desperate for a shout out.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't imagine. Better not be Lodi. I hate that guy. I don't see who wants a shout out. Oh. Wait, no. I don't see. Yeah.
You're tagging me, that's why.
Oh. I'm like, no, I don't see anyone calling my name. Fuck. Yeah, I keep trying to find like all the images I would have wanted to have earlier.
But Sean, for your part of the experiment that or for what you wanted us to do, I did get a hold of ordering some generators and some lights.
Okay. Okay, yeah. It's much easier and faster than the neon ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. But next time. Oh, yeah, okay. I know where to go. Never mind. I'll just go to your website. I gotcha. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to snack at the same time because I didn't have my snacks today. Kind of didn't have a nap. Kind of cranky right now. Kind of a good thing the flight is on right now. I'm kind of cranky.
I ate an entire pizza while I was listening to you guys or listening to Red Pill on where was I at earlier? Jose's show.
Pizza sounds good. Good idea. Nah, damn it. I gotta pick up my son. My son loves Subway. So I'll just get the regular, like foot and a half along Philly steak. I'll be good.
I think Mind of God got pretty mad at me earlier today too, so
He'll get over it.
he wanted me to back up what I could do. I asked him if he could calculate the piston speed in his car.
Oh well.
Yeah, he doesn't do much like that, I don't think.
Or
Nah, I don't know. I honestly don't think he could change his oil. I'm pretty sure of it. I think he's a desk type guy.
It's still the same basic physics they want to argue because, like, for the stuff we do around here, I have to know and be able to figure out how much that connecting rod is going to stretch at certain RPM to see if I can use it in the motor I'm building.
Well, if he's a bank teller like I believe he is, all he has to do is punch in numbers and that machine tells him what 5 + 5 is. So, I have no idea. But I know mechanics, they're geniuses because they have to fabricate shit. They don't just get shit delivered and it pops right on perfectly.
Let's see. Let's see if I can. I don't know how well this will show up. Can y'all see that little Conrad?
I'm gonna present you right now. There we go. Yeah, kind of. What the hell is that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a little piston.
That's one that I machined that failed because I made it out of the wrong type of aluminum. It doesn't really show up on my camera, but there's nicks and scratches in it where it nailed the crankcase.
Yeah. I saw it because every time I see a piston, I always go, what side is it? Because it matters. That's for the first side.
That little sleeve right there.
Goddamn. I used to do that stuff all the time when I got older.
That's
it.
That's out of my
You
that's in
machine
one
that
of my
connecting
A-scale
rod
motors.
yourself?
Yeah. Yep. I couldn't find one that was anywhere near the specs we were trying to get out of this motor and still be within the specs of the rule book we were trying to play in.
Dude,
I-
Mog must have been lurking because as soon as you said his name, he was up in the chat.
That's how he rolls.
So, yeah. That's the type of stuff we fabricate around here, except on a larger scale. This was just me playing around. Normally, I'd use commercial stuff I could get available, so I had match sets. But this was our attempt at cheating a rule book that didn't work. So I kind of figured out why nobody else was doing it.
All right, guys. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of tired. I can't talk anymore. Not that I've talked that much right now. Anyway, just ate my lunch. I'm kind of need a nap now. My blankie. Like I said, I wasn't even 100% planning to go on today. I've really been up since like I think it was woke up at 2:45 this morning. Sat at the desk and I've been sitting at it ever since.
You just started getting people in here.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
God damn it! Oh, I see you, guy.
You like doubled your audience.
Yeah, when I said I was leaving, right? Well, then get the fuck in here, people. Let's have some fucking fun.
Mog's out there. You could come in here and tell us this stupid shit he thinks some more.
As long as he does some bridging.
I'd just like to say, mind to God, you're a schmuck.
The power of Christ compels you.
You know that video
What's up, Sean?
You know that video
Howdy,
that I
Tom.
made with Nathan Oakley stabbing that balloon, right? You've seen that, right?
No, I've never seen that.
Oh, well, there's a link in the description to the original video by Nathan Oakley.
Okay.
Where he assaults a balloon.
He's a clown.
You can look in the description. I put the link. I've checked that. I'm pretty sure I put the link in the. Yeah, I put the link in the description to that. So then you can find the original on Channel Q's channel, because I don't have that one. Besides that, I don't think they watch it because I did that. I did a upload on Quantum Eraser, and I never heard anything back on that one.
So how's everybody?
Exhausted and getting ready to head to the shop because we got a long day tomorrow. We're leaving here at 5:30 a.m. to go racing.
I heard you talking about my boy. Red pill philosophy.
Hey, Sean Hawkins.
Oh, that's your son?
No. No way.
What's up, Mighty Guy? How you doing, sir?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing well, Sean. You?
I'm doing great. I'm doing real good.
Good.
As long as it's hashtag, we can do this. And don't think that's over, people. Matter of fact,
I'm starting to think we can't.
Damn. Well, I'm gonna play it. I'm doing it anyway. Get ready, people. I'm putting the fucking hashtag we can do this slides
we can't do anything
on.
without our government, man. It's pathetic.
Well, no, actually, we can. We definitely can. Don't vote for those assholes anymore and blow all their shit out the water and tell everybody it's great.
You think voting works? Like they add up all the votes?
Hell no. Nope. Not even close.
Thank
No.
you.
Hell no.
Thank God. Anybody who believes that's an idiot.
I like to think it works, and I like to to have that idea, but I mean, they got to fix how they set the electoral system up before they can expect the votes to even matter. I mean, there's a whole percentage of people who vote away just so one party doesn't win. It's like that's kind of taking away from the whole point of voting.
Even if that were the case, in a non-conspiracy theory world, we don't decide who's brought in front of us. So there's multiple layers to the problem. Like we're given 6 people. They're all retards.
They're only faces.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, some people may not think that, but realistically, it's not impossible. It's exactly what if you own your own business, you have employees that like greet people and take reservations and appointments. The same thing. It's the same thing.
And it's really the issue that we can talk about. If you're up for it, you can stomach it. Your audience can handle it. Is we talk about the financial system one day, that would be a wonderful discussion.
Anytime you want, man.
Daniel Todd said,
because that's the real issue. The money printing going on is absolutely insane.
I don't think it's a money printing issue. I think it's the
inflation.
Yeah, it's
expansion of the credit supply.
Hey, Sean.
It's inflation.
What's up?
Daniel Tosh said that if he ever won the lottery, he'd open up a business and call it, thank you for calling, how may I help you? So that would force all the employees to answer the phone. Thank you for calling, how may I help you? How may I help you?
That dude's funny. I don't know why he doesn't do shit like that. Like, he should go out and
He's
do,
rich.
what do you call it?
He doesn't need to.
That kid that used to do the skateboards and bought a warehouse. He should do shit like that. Do stupid shit. That'd be funny. No, my God.
Yo,
that's real. I mean, that is an issue.
Yeah, stock buybacks is basically insider trading. That's happening every day. So there's so many issues. This is why the ballers, you guys got to get up to speed on this because it's mainstream news. Everybody knows now.
Well, wait. That doesn't make ballers the problem.
Not you, because you speak out about it. So fair enough.
Doesn't mean anybody does, though.
No, but I mean, it's just ridiculous because it's one thing if it was like a Russian vids-based conspiracy with all the numerology and, OJ and all that. I guess, okay, that you got to, that might be a stretch for a lot of people. But the problem with the financial thing, it's mainstream. It's right out in front. And the people in the government and the banks are telling us that the system's unfair. There's a wealth gap. It's economy's slowing down. It's just everybody.
At the same time, those same banks they're investing in more fossil fuels. So they're not too sad about anything.
I almost got you to say that global warming was a flat Earth proof. I was this close, man.
No, it will never happen. My God, I'm two syllables ahead of you all the time.
You put in a delay in OBS. That's a smart move.
It's my brain. I put an OBS in my brain. So that way.
What were you guys talking about today? What was the talk? I just got in. I
was talking about geoengineering and taking it away from the chemtrail aspect of it, so it is more legit.
Were you compelled by Life is Short's thing earlier, or nothing new there?
No.
I don't even know who that was.
I was an idiot.
Ooh.
Sean, you can't even understand what he was saying, man. How can you say he's an idiot?
Who are you even talking about?
On Jose's channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the guy that made no sense at all.
Was that the guy that was looking at the ceiling? His camera was always at the ceiling or some shit?
Well, I mean, he did it's probably that guy. He did the two different cameras and basically motivating the fact that properties of the lens itself can determine what is seen. There's not one big lens, and if the dome was the lens, you wouldn't see. It wouldn't be the same as the lenses you're looking through right now. It wouldn't be the same.
If the air was thick enough for it to lens, we'd drown. It would be so thick with water.
So what do you guys have left? Bottom up, and then that picture with the mountain in the shadow. What else? That's pretty much it. You guys have, right, for Ball Earth.
No,
everything.
Angles to Polaris, eclipses, equinoxes, equatorial telescopes, sundials, circular star
trails. We get for free on Flat Earth because God is controlling it. So we get that one.
Just give us. Thank you, Flat Earth.
Yeah. We get that one for free. The Polaris one is nonsense because you haven't mapped out the architecture of the dome.
Mind of God, can you issue me or point me in the direction of any measurements that you've asked for in the past 10 minutes for Flat Earth?
Wait, sorry, say that once more. What was the question?
All the questions you had. Has Flat Earth answered them?
Wait, the bottom up and
all of them.
Shadow of the mountain?
All the questions you just asked me. Has Flat Earth answered for any of them?
No, I just said the only thing that's supporting Ball Earth, which everything else would be supporting Flat Earth,
is everything.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
I'd say those two things, once they're settled, you guys have nothing. That's my point.
Man, as soon as all of science is proved wrong, then we got nothing.
Oh, yeah, the major weakness.
Did no one see that? No one caught that? No one
You're a funny
oh,
man.
God
The
damn.
major weakness you guys have is the lack of spin, so you're already way behind. But we'll entertain the curve just because we're bored. So,
Yeah, thanks. That's awful white of you.
What
Sean,
lack
sorry,
of
what did I
spin?
miss? What just if you're gonna get me, get me. Like, what were you saying? Sorry. I'm feeling generous, friendly today. You guys can have some sound bites. What were you telling me that I missed?
Oh, you
Sean.
got me?
What
Sean,
lack
please.
of spin are you talking about?
We're not spinning, man.
You're not spinning. The Earth is rotating.
No, it's not, dude. That's like laughable at this point. Are you kidding me? You guys are out of
Yeah,
your
we're
mind.
kidding you. That's what we do.
And we can see everything else move. We can see the clouds move, the sun's moving, the moon's moving. Everything else we're able to perceive movement, but not the Earth. Are you kidding me? You guys are out of your mind.
Yeah,
No,
we
that is
do.
what you're seeing move. You just
Yeah, we
think
can
it's
see.
Moron.
those
Sean,
things.
let's talk about conservation of
And
angular
you got a
momentum.
degree in something?
Sean Hawkins, do you think we live on a
Who,
perpetual
me? Do
motion?
I got a degree? What?
No, not you. I was talking to mine of God.
I don't need a degree to debate this shit.
Exactly. Tell him. Tell Hawkins. Get on him, man. His GPA, just because he had a really high GPA, just because he's got a PhD in nothing, he's not allowed to say stuff like that to us.
I'm not going to say that to him.
Wait, you can get a PhD for nothing?
Yeah, Sean Hawkins has a PhD in NOTHING.
I don't need a PhD to debunk you, dude. Don't need it.
Do you know the issue that Howard Hughes had while he was filming the movie Hell's Angels?
Who are you speaking to?
Viagra? I don't know.
No, he had no frame of reference for movement for the aircraft without clouds in the sky. So when he shot them, they all looked like they were standing still, even though they were still moving.
Let's talk about clouds orbiting Ball Earth. Go for it, Crashes.
Yep,
What do you
big
got?
problem for
How
them.
are the clouds orbiting Ball Earth?
They don't orbit Ball Earth.
Yeah, they must.
What the
No,
fuck?
they don't, you idiot. They
So
move
they're
in the atmosphere.
Okay, but they
Move
must
right
orbit
along with
Ball
it.
Earth.
It's just
You think
maybe
they're changing
slightly
elevation?
different speeds. That's all.
Is your brain not orbiting outside your head, Mog?
Damn.
No, they don't
Maybe I'm using the wrong
orbit
terminology.
Ball Earth. They move with it.
Any other dumb questions?
But you agree, Hawkins? They're moving in a curved path, correct?
They're moving with the atmosphere, yes.
In a
That's
curved
what I
path,
was saying.
right? Okay, good, great, excellent.
You don't know what shape the atmosphere is either.
Well, Lewis Hackett said the sky is curved, so that was the
I don't care
smartest.
what
thing
Lewis
that
Hackett
could have
said.
been.
Lewis Hackett's a little shit who wears weird
He's a
shirts.
genius. He said the sky is curved, and I'm like, yes, finally, he said something smart. Excellent. The firmament is likely to be a curve.
Okay, so you've turned Lewis. That has nothing to do with anybody else or anything else.
John, it's called bridging, dude. I do it like to perfection, bro. I'm
Yeah,
bridging.
you're great at it. You are
Yeah, it's
great
a
at it.
manipulation tactic.
Yeah, no, that's why he keeps pointing out how
It's
he
like
keeps trying
appealing
to
to
make
the authority of fucking Lewis of all people.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna work on us. We know Lewis.
Fair enough. But so you guys don't have the spin. That's preposterous. All you got is bottom up. Basically, you got two things.
Preposterous. Where'd
Bottom
you
up.
get that?
You got clouds lit up, bottom
book?
up,
You're,
and you got bottom
don't-
up obstruction. That's all you guys got left.
a week
Don't
ago.
straw man me, dude.
No, we get
I
that
can
whole
most
thing
certainly
with
prove
Polaris and the equator.
No, but
Downward accelerating force of
We get the
9.8
thing
meters
with
per
the
second squared.
opposite star trails and the two,
Yep.
Counter-rotating
you
star.
didn't even finish your
star
statement.
field.
You said, yeah.
We don't need to finish each other. We don't need to finish our statements. We know what we're talking about.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's fair enough.
Right?
Okay, so wait, we agree.
Let me
only
ask
have
you a
those two
question,
things, right?
Mog. I need to ask you a question.
No, we don't agree on
If
anything.
mass doesn't attract mass,
Yep.
how does everything stay together?
How does
What
everything
is the
stay
force
together?
that's holding the glass that holds the water together?
Love.
What's holding the glass together that's got the water in it,
The
dude?
dome, you mean?
No, I'm talking about on your
No, no,
desk
no.
right now. The glass of water. There's a glass sitting there with water in it.
Yeah. So you think that that's
So
the
what
thing
is
that's
holding the glass together?
Well, those are nuclear
holding
bombs.
the glass together?
Why does the glass stay together? Why do all the molecules or atoms of the glass stay together as a
But no one
glass?
would say that that's gravity, though.
How
Or
come
not
the
gravity.
glass how come the glass doesn't separate in a buoyancy density frame?
A buoyancy dense? That's above my pay grade. I'm not sure I understand that.
Oh, you need a PhD for that? I don't have a
Maybe.
PhD.
Why does a density column lose its organization in microgravity?
Why doesn't a density column
Good
lose?
question.
What do you mean by that? Because he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Oh, yes,
he
I
doesn't.
do.
He doesn't know what he's
I
talking
actually-
about.
I'm waiting to see this test, and then I'm expecting a free body diagram for comedy purposes. So
Just tell me what's keeping the atoms together in the glass that's sitting on your desk, Mom.
gravity. We already covered this. Obviously it's gravity, mass attracting mass. This invisible force that no one can quantify or understands, or just magically.
So I've
acting
just gotten you
independently.
to concede to the fact that gravity holds your glass together.
Channel Q. It's not a real force because all those masses would be
Well, then
attracted to
what
one another
is keeping
independently.
the glass together?
It's not mass cannot attract mass. Doesn't make sense. Channel Q, you agree that those masses would be attracted to one another independently? No, he was doing it on purpose. Mass cannot attract
Okay,
mass.
let's try something else. Maybe the glass is a little too complicated for mine. What's
Yeah,
holding
let's
the
start simple.
particles of the wood fiber of your desk together if mass doesn't attract mass? Is that easier?
I don't think people would say mass attracting mass is like intermolecular.
Well, what's keeping the desk together as a desk?
Love.
What makes the desk keep its shape as a desk and keep all of its parts as the desk and it doesn't like mix with your lamp?
Paperweights?
That's a bizarre question.
Is
I don't
it?
know. You answer it. I don't even know what to say to that. I've never.
That's not a fair comparison for like mass attracting mass.
And what is it? Tell me.
have to say. Well, it's
It is actually.
nuclear
but-
bonds that hold like molecules together in atoms. And that's what like makes wood. I mean, it's not gravity.
No.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
Are
nuclear
you using
bonds
that as-
aren't gravity.
molecular
Are you using that as an analogy, or are you being like? Are you joking?
That's the nuclear force. You've got the gravitation. You got force of gravity, the nuclear force, the
Right.
weak force,
Weak and
static
strong nuclear force.
a magnetic force. It's just there. It's two separate things.
You got gravity, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, and electromagnetic force.
Yeah.
That's
So
okay.
Channel Q, it's either the
You don't
covalent
think
or
that
ionic
that's
bond.
you don't think
Let's
that
say-
that's
let's say-
gravity?
It's either covalent or ionic bonds. If we're trying to get down to like molecular level, it's one of those two that are holding things like at the chemical level.
And that's not gravity.
I mean, I thought you were trying to use that as an analogy to gravity, but no, I don't think people would even. I don't even think ballers would go to that
I
level.
So
don't think
strange.
Einstein was that.
Those
What's keeping everything
strings.
together, dude?
But
Strings.
actually, you're making a good
There you
point.
go,
actually.
Sean.
I don't know, indirectly, does it apply at that level? I think they would say it does. You're right. Actually, it's just it would be not as significant relative to the Earth being big M. So they exist,
Yes,
but
it
they're
would.
just microscopic.
Yes, it would, because everything on the earth is made of the same thing that your glass and your desk is made of, and it's all sticking together.
No, I think you would. I think actually, yeah, you're making a good point. It does apply, but not strong enough relative to the big M of Earth doing what it needs to do. So it would be there, I guess, at the molecular level. That's a good point. I don't know. You guys have to explain this. I obviously don't think gravity is real. I think ionic and covalent bonds are real. High school chemistry, which Sean got a. Sean, what was
causes
your grade in high
gravity?
school chemistry?
You got an A in high school chemistry.
Oh my god, how much did that cost financially to pay for that?
I don't know. It
What
was public
causes
school.
gravity?
It was public school. Came out of taxes.
No, I meant to pay for the A.
Nobody paid for any A.
What causes gravity? No one knows.
No one knows. They have
That's-
ideas,
that's
but
just
yeah,
stupid.
It's
Nobody
a
knows.
filler.
Nobody
It's
knows.
filler
No,
to
we
make
do
the
know.
ball Earth seem like a flat Earth. That's what it is.
I just told you what causes it. Well, keeps your glass together.
We just said bonds.
Why?
It is the bending of space-time. That's what causes it.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Now that's no reason to say that. You're hurting your argument. That's a flat Earth proof. The phrase "bending of space time."
no, that's Einstein, man.
Doesn't that sound
No, it is
dumb when
not.
you say it?
That's
Just be honest.
Einstein. That's
Doesn't that sound ridiculous?
the
No,
one guy that went.
Not at all. Kind of sounds
That's
dumb to
why
hear
I went along with.
say it in the 19th
I
century.
can never
but
be a baller because those words came out
Right.
of my mouth without
Newton
laughing.
gave us the what? Einstein gave us the why. It's that simple.
But you see, a lot of us can't be ballers because we can't say that without laughing right after we say it.
Okay, but what is
Well,
space
that's
time?
sad.
That's a good question, Channel Q. What is space time? And what now? Then the bending of that's the second part. So, space time. What can someone explain that to us?
You don't understand the link between
She
space
says
and
space
time.
time is like an intersection of two lines.
Gosh.
Space and time is an
You don't
intersection
understand- I
between
think
two
that it's
lines.
obvious. You don't understand the link between space and time. Like it's
Just
Watch a
told
YouTube
that's
video.
like grade 5. You know, duh. You don't know the bending of space time, you idiot. Duh. What do you mean? What are you talking
Ah,
about? I don't
calm
know
the fuck
relationship
down.
between space and
I've
time.
seen 2 documentaries on Discovery, and I know what it is.
Look,
What's
it's
your
the
problem?
intersection of two lines,
That's all
okay?
it
But
takes.
what is
Shit,
it made
man.
out of?
Doesn't take a fucking PhD.
So time is a line now, Channel
You
Q?
just watch people that are
No, it
smarter than you
doesn't.
tell you
Time
shit.
is a
You know
fucking
it.
line, dude. It's a line.
You're talking about the bending of space, which is something that's sort of real, physical. Time is a construct. So you're talking about the bending of something real and a construct.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So?
Yeah. I'm getting you started. So Sean, keep going.
What's your point?
No, I'm saying you need to now explain the bending of that.
I don't have to explain shit to you, man.
No, I know you don't because it's nonsense.
Einstein came up with it. Research him. Read all about it, man, and then come back.
Ask Einstein.
How can mind to God deny the second law of thermodynamics?
When did I deny that?
Well,
What's
why
the first
wouldn't you-
law?
Why wouldn't you deny
Rob,
it?
what's the first law?
Why wouldn't you deny the second law of
No,
thermodynamics?
you're talking second. What's the first? Just to head check. Sanity
This
check.
isn't a pop quiz.
I'm asking you a question. Well, you don't want to answer it?
When did I deny the second law of thermodynamics?
Well, why wouldn't you?
No, I said when. What did I say that would lead you to believe that I'm denying the second law?
Well, you've got to deny the laws, the natural laws.
No, you guys do. Anybody who thinks they're on a perpetual motion machine violates the first law. Where did the energy come from? If we're
What
constantly
perpetual
spinning
motion machine?
on the spinning ball that's been spinning for billions of years,
Perpetual motion machine.
it conserves angular momentum. Like, where did the energy come from to get that started and continue it?
What does it run? What does
Holy
it?
shit,
What does
dude.
it propel and rotating like that? A machine
It
has
needs,
to
it
do
needs
work.
energy to do that, Sean. It needs energy to do that, right?
It has to do work.
Right.
Not
So
doing any work.
where did it get that? Who provided that at the beginning?
Momentum.
Okay, and who provided that initial momentum?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. You don't know anything.
But from what I understand, it has a lot to do with the
Gravity.
molten iron core that's providing that momentum.
Energy has to be conserved. It can't just appear out of nowhere. That's the first law. So
Right. Do you know that?
where did that come from? That's what we all want to know.
Well,
Inquiring
because
minds want to
the
know.
planet about twice as fast or 3 times as fast as it does now in its early days, in its early epoch.
That's not where we're
Where-
getting at. We're getting at where did
Got
it
a question.
Yes,
Where did
it has slowed
where
down.
didn't it get it from? I mean, the whole universe is moving.
It
Ball
has
Earth
slowed
Ball
down
Earth is a
since
violation of the
since
first
it
law of thermodynamics.
came to be.
It's
So what's your point?
atheism is a violation of the first law of thermodynamics.
No, atheism is a construct.
No, the Ball
What
Earth
the
is
hell
Ball Earth-
kind of
Ball Earth
statement is
an
that,
underpinning of
Mog?
athe- Ball Earth
Did you just
underpins
like throw
atheism.
like some random generator at us?
God gave it a spin as if it was a top. Now, back to my question.
No, but
Why are you denying?
Rob, your
why are
comrades
you
will not
denying-
agree with you
I
on
know,
that.
right? Like this
Rob,
is the question. Why are you denying the second law?
Rob, your comrades will not agree with you on that. No one's
It's
no one.
just-
Ball Earth is an
It
atheist
doesn't
doctrine.
matter whether God gave it a spin or whether the Big Bang gave it a spin. Why are you denying the second law of thermodynamics?
When did I do that? Walk me through that.
Dome?
Well,
No,
you
the dome
can't
is the
just
thing
pick
that-
and choose natural laws. So if you're going to deny one, you've got to deny them all. So why are you denying?
No, the dome. We're comfortable with the fact that I believe we live in a finite. world. We can't go out forever. It's not infinity. When I look at the sky, it's not. It doesn't go on forever. I don't know what that even means.
It goes on as far as light can travel.
How did they measure that extent, Sean?
Looking.
That parsecs thing. How did they come up? What is the process that they came up with measuring that?
No, this can all be learned.
science.
Mog, instead of coming
If
to
you paid
YouTube.
attention in school or took the right courses in school,
I
you
never
could
learned that
right?
that term, that unit in my whole life, or parallax.
You
throughout
never
any of my
took
education.
never heard
like
parallax
high level
in school?
physics.
I never heard that parsecs or whatever that unit is for the extent of our universe. I never heard of parallax, and I never heard of superlooming in my
That's
Because
life.
you never took high level physics.
High level meaning you have to be high to.
No, meaning that
like
you had to
PhD
do
level
more than
physics.
2 years in university or college. Go past introduction.
No, I took physics in college.
Past
And you never heard of
introduction.
parallax? You never heard of all those other terms? You never heard
I
of
know,
that? in
but
physics
just
in
didn't pay
college?
attention.
Send me a textbook. Where would that be?
I doubt
Send
your
you a
credulity,
textbook.
sir.
Or just send me a link to a
I
textbook.
got a
that would have
textbook
it.
from my college with my physics classes, and it cost me like $400 for that book. You want me to send that to you?
No, just the title, and I'll
I
do the
doubt your veracity, sir.
No, I mean, if it's there, and maybe it just was not taught in our curriculum in Canada, it's fine. I'm curious if you actually genuinely did learn
Why
it.
wouldn't they teach you the basics of that in a physics class?
They don't teach us very much in
They
school.
didn't teach you
Yeah,
parsecs or parallax.
I haven't.
And I
I
went
haven't
to
Okay, what
grad
did they
school and I
teach
got
you?
a book that's 1,000 pages on just the different forces that are applied inside of an internal combustion engine.
Seriously.
Boom.
He said boom like he knows. Will you shut the fuck up, dude? This is sad.
Parsecs, parallax, and looming were never.
Oh my fucking
not
god.
on the
Looming is a different subject.
The agenda for my education.
Looming would be a different subject.
Yeah, for
Okay, let me rephrase.
Fantasy
Let
land.
me rephrase my question. Mind the God, you mentioned the first law of thermodynamics. So, are you presupposing that we live in an isolated system?
He is.
I am basing it on common sense. I have no reason to not believe that, like everybody.
Well, that would be presupposing that.
So how does the pressure gradient exist with a dome?
Why do you think that it could not?
Because it doesn't work that way.
Because the
no,
gas
I believe in
pressure
it.
would be
Or
bouncing
not,
off
no.
of it. And it would
That's
find
not
its
what's
equilibrium.
his name, dude?
There has to be gradients everywhere. It has to be that way.
Show me an example of a pressure gradient outside of our, like, other than our atmosphere.
No, I think Rob, you're getting defensive when I'm agreeing with you. I'm telling you that there is gradients. We agree on that. No one would debate that. Anybody who has common sense, that of course exists.
And
So
you
how
cannot
do you
have a
contain
pressure
pressure
gradient in a
gradient?
closed system. In a closed container, you cannot have a pressure gradient.
What do you mean you can't?
You can't.
With all the things going on Earth, you don't think that it's possible to have variations? And have
Nope.
them
I
be-
would
Not
love for
any
this to be
pressurized container.
the ability to do this. If I could have a pressure gradient inside of a nitrous bottle, I wouldn't have to fill the damn thing as often as I do.
Well,
So
see,
your
here's the
stance-
problem, Mike.
Your
Josh.
stance is this openness of the universe is the thing that's allowing this gradient to manifest. That's your stance, Rob? Like
Here's
the
the
increasing
problem.
volume as you go out is the thing motivating this pressure gradient?
According to the second law of thermodynamics, in an isolated system, which, a flat Earth with a dome would be an example of an isolated system,
Correct.
the pressure will find its entropy unless there's an external force acting on it. Well, you deny the external force, i.e. gravity. And
No, I'm saying there's a lot
you're
of
saying
things
that
moving
there's
in the
foam
atmosphere.
over top of it.
Yeah,
So why are
there's
you
not,
denying the second law of thermodynamics?
there's nothing homogeneous about what's going on in the dome, under the dome. No, like that's common sense. There's a lot of things moving, literally.
Yeah, but things like
Everything.
things like density aren't a force.
You're sciencing the shit out of this, Mr.
I don't know what he just. Let me finish with him first. But Rob, what do you mean by that last statement?
Well, density isn't a force, so density doesn't affect.
Wait,
gas
dude, are we
pressure.
talking about gravity or are we talking about the second law and the pressure gradient? Or are you trying to link those two concepts? I just don't know where
What I'm saying
you're
is,
going.
Without some sort of force, then the second law of thermodynamics would apply, and if we're in an isolated system, then we would not have a gradient pressure.
If it was a homogeneous thing inside of the dome, correct? That would be the case. Yeah, it would neutralize or like I mean, it would balance out. Fair enough. No one would
Okay,
argue that.
What I'm saying though is, in order to
Equalize.
break the second law of thermodynamics, we need some sort of force. So either, like the Flat Earth Society says, the pizza's flying upwards, or we've got some sort of downward force or some sort of pushing force from the dome down. There's got to be a force.
No, you would just, like I said, not have a homogeneous medium, which we don't.
Wow.
Well, his flat Earth ideology is dead. Next, where's Chris?
No, we don't. Like, it's obvious. We don't have one thing in this dome. We have many things. That's obvious. We have people. We have things happening. We have biological processes, chemical processes. We have a sun and the moon moving. We have weather pattern changing. We have so many different things moving. I mean, it's the list literally make thousands, millions of things changing.
And you think the number of people, you think putting people in an enclosed pressurized container will create a pressure gradient?
That gradient, I don't
Not
think
making any
there's no way you can, even if I agree that gradient exists, which everybody would.
How can you not agree to it?
No, but there would also be places where you wouldn't have that.
How? Yeah, inside a pressurized container.
No, even on a local level, it doesn't mean just because I said gradients exist doesn't mean that I agree that it's applied everywhere on Earth. The Earth is vast.
It is applied everywhere on Earth. Everywhere there's atmosphere, it's applied.
You've gone and measured that yourself, Sean? When did you have time to do that? You went through the volumetric part of the Earth and you figured out that the gradient holds everywhere? Are you out of your mind?
No, I'm not out of my mind.
Why don't you say stuff that makes sense, like in a sober, intellectual way, instead of the madness?
I have a fairly accurate jetting chart for riding my bike clear across the U.S. So if there wasn't consistencies in the pressure gradient, that would be out the fucking window.
Okay, so if we find one,
if there were pressure gradient holes, if there was a place where the pressure wasn't stable.
So if we can find a not smooth gradient, you guys would leave ball Earth.
What?
If I can find a gradient that does not fit uniformly across the Earth, you would leave ball Earth if this gradient does not exist everywhere?
If you can find a place on Earth where there is no pressure gradient from sea level to space, sure.
Okay, interesting. That's good to hear. You will leave ball Earth.
I will consider what you're saying and I'll investigate it further.
Just to be fair, as long as it's not like a man-made, as long as it's like a natural thing, like, you know, whatever. Like,
right, if you can find an area on Earth where you can detect no pressure gradient.
No, we didn't say that. We just said you think that there's one pressure gradient happening everywhere.
Yes, there is the pressure gradient of our atmosphere. It starts at 1 atmosphere at sea level and it goes to 0 atmospheres in space.
Okay, and that's consistent everywhere on Earth in your view.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm just clarifying. That's a gutsy move to bet on that when you obviously don't know that, but go for it. You want.
Hey, when science is dealing you the hand, you get all aces, dude.
I've got a 60s Harley Davidson book that backs that up, so I trust it.
Backs what up?
The consistency of a pressure gradient all the way across the U.S.
Try to find a place that doesn't work.
No, the issue that Sean just said is that he said there's one gradient that applies everywhere.
It is a consistent pressure gradient that starts at sea level and goes up. It's consistent based
and
on
applies
altitude.
Everywhere on the Earth.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm just clarifying.
Yes.
Including in the water.
Everywhere.
Cool.
Yeah, the gradient.
It's entirely based on altitude. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, I was just expanding on what Sean said. The pressure gradient as you go deeper in the sea is uniform as well. The deeper you go, the more pressure there is.
Yeah, it's a linear gradient because water's not compressible. The atmosphere is nonlinear because gas is compressible.
But that's not in the realm of second law, though, right, Rob? The water point?
Well, no, second law is gas.
Yeah, you're talking about just the increased mass, quote unquote mass, right?
I'm talking about the second law of thermodynamics.
Right. And what creates mass?
No. I was just clarifying. You said that gradient exists in the water as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, just clarifying that's not in the realm of the second law of thermodynamics.
Law applies to more than just gas.
Rob, do you believe that?
The second law.
Yeah, well, second law of thermodynamics relates to energy, correct?
No, the first one does. Second law, I can read it. The first one is conservation of energy. Second one is total entropy of an isolated system can never decrease over time. That the total entropy of a system and its surrounding can remain constant in ideal cases where the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium.
That is a closed system.
Yeah, I think, yeah, second law of thermodynamics is isolated system as well, just like the first law. And an isolated system is a system where there's no matter or energy exchange.
That's
So
right.
you guys would take the stance ball Earth does not fit in that realm. That's kind of exempt from that, right?
No, there's an outside force.
It's not exempt from it. It's just not a closed system.
Okay.
Yeah, we absorb energy and matter. We take energy from the sun because in our model, there's no dome and the sun is outside of our system. So we're absorbing the energy from the sun, for example. We're also absorbing matter when meteors fall. Now, there's a lot of people that will classify Earth as not an open system, but a closed system, because they don't really consider meteorites falling as significant. But the reality of it is both matter and energy enter our system, and I believe we also release energy because some of our atmosphere does escape into space. But we're not like a propane tank with a closed valve that's completely sealed off from.
What's the citation on the gradient? Who has measured this from the surface of the water up and documented it and have it show it that it's consistent in different parts of the world?
Multiple aircraft manuals from any time before constant velocity carburetors were invented. 63 Harley Davidson reference manuals have an entire chart in the back of them depending on the altitude the bike was sold at. I believe even Chevrolet had one in the early 40s and 50s.
How high did this gradient, how high did they go up to measure the variation and the smoothness?
People who climb mountains know about it, dude. They
The
almost
fact,
died.
the fact that you cannot heat water by boiling it on Mount Everest proves it.
No, your claim was that from the ground up, there's a gradient and has a sort of a function.
Right.
Mathematical
Right
function.
up a hill with a balloon on a empty pop bottle.
They're flat.
Yeah.
There are flat Earth videos, balloon videos that show the pressure gradient all the way from 0 to 115,000 feet.
So okay, so I'm just asking, where's the highest? So the highest that people have measured that gradient.
Why aren't
That's
you
well
an expert
documented.
in all these things already, Mog?
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
I don't know who would even have the time to measure something like that. Continuous.
have a pretty good
Things like that.
Altitude balloons.
We seem to have a pretty good grasp on this information, Mog. How come you're not an expert in all these things?
Well, we have to learn the gibberish to talk, I guess.
Gibberish.
Have the time to measure a pressure gradient. You can
Maybe
do
if
that
you didn't
quick
think it
on
was
with a balloon on
gibberish,
a
then you would have more to say than just gibberish.
I graduated with a 2.8 GPA. I got a C plus. I learned more out of high school than I ever did in high school. What's your problem, man?
The whole point is, dude, our stance is that what you learned is nonsense. So don't be
your
too
stance
proud
is
of that.
ignorant. You have a stance from ignorance, from
all that
paranoia.
2.8 is resting on the
Explain
fact that
if
water
everything is
2.0.
nonsense, how come everything works?
Your stance is from a pseudo-Christian paranoid stance.
He's from like
the
a
foundation
narcissistic.
of my knowledge is water doesn't bend, and the foundation of yours is. So I'm all in on that it doesn't.
The foundation of my knowledge is this huge mountain behind me. Your foundation is a pile of mud.
No, but everything rests on the fact that we're spinning and water bends for you.
Didn't God say build your foundation on solid rock?
You believe in God now?
I did for 45 years, man.
I don't think that's exactly what.
How can you
And
say
my God was competent enough to create a sphere with its own gravity.
He says build your house on him, on his words.
Big Blue,
How
you're a
can you say
pilot, right?
water doesn't bend when you pour it in a bowl and it conforms to the round shape of the bottom of the bowl?
Oh man.
Yes, water takes the
but
shape
Rob,
of its
both
container.
people agree what's going on at the bottom
pretty
of
bendy
water.
and
It's the
flexible
top that
of
we're
it.
sort of debating, right?
Water takes the shape of the forces exerted upon it.
Wait, let me just clarify, Rob. Like, were you joking or were you serious about that?
Well, I'm being serious. In our
Well-
heliocentric model, if there is gravity, then water can surely bend.
No, but the debate is not what happens at the base of a basin. No one argues that. It's the top we're concerned about.
Well, you say,
what I mean?
you say water doesn't bend, but it clearly does. So it clearly takes the shape of its container. So if its container is a sphere with some sort of force pulling towards the center, then it will most definitely bend around that container.
Yeah, but the container at the top has no reason, is not motivating it to curve. Where are you getting that from? That the only reason that exists is because of gravity. I understand the bottom. We agree on that. It's going to take the shape and follow the contour of the basin.
Why?
Okay, well, here's the problem.
Why?
You live
What's
in
making
a world,
it go in there?
You live in a world that has gravity. There's nothing you guys can come up with that debunks gravity, aside from saying, well, we don't believe in gravity, but there's some other imaginary force.
You guys debunk it every time you say the bending of space-time.
What?
It makes sense. You guys believe mass attracts mass in pairs and does not impact any other pairs of attraction. That's voodoo. That's just not a real force. You think
So
it's
you're
actually
saying that
independent.
by doing this, I'm debunking the color green?
Yes.
Yes, correct. John, you have to jump in, and I need you for that. Yes, that is what I'm saying.
Space-time is what creates gravity. Citing it does not disprove it.
What did God do, Sean, that you gave up on him after 45 years?
Nothing.
So it's because he did nothing, or was it something
Because
more
he's
personal?
constantly done nothing.
What do you want him to do? What would you want him? What would you want to see?
Something.
Anything?
Yeah, anything.
Would flat water be enough?
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
If we show that water cannot bend, would that be enough to inspire you?
I don't know. Let's see. The Bible says what? Where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am also. Ask and ye shall receive. And if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move. You can tell that mountain to move, and it will obey you.
What?
There have been billions upon billions of devout, highly devout people gathering in His name, beseeching Him for peace in the Middle East, and it has never come.
Hey,
if you want me to worship a God, He better obey His own rules.
Hey,
but there won't be
I can
peace in the
I can move mountains. I've moved mountains.
What does Michael
One
Franti
truck at a
say?
time.
What does
Damn
Michael
right.
Franti say? Those who build walls or those who dam streams can build fountains. Those of us who just let them run free, we can move mountains.
Right.
I know
The
Bruce Lee
moving
said we
mountain
could flow like
is
water.
hyperbole. The
No,
moving
the moving
hyperbole.
mountain is if you believe in me with the faith of a faith so small that it could fill a mustard seed. I will do what you ask.
Hey Sean,
Yeah,
my faith is
I will answer your prayers. That's what it says.
He's contrasting small faith with doing something large and moving something big.
I'm talking about billions and billions of devout gathering in His name, obeying His rules, and Him ignoring them.
There's very, very few devout on the earth right now.
Yeah, what? Just one? You?
No, there's not many.
You and Nathan Thompson, I guess.
I wouldn't put
Nathan
myself in that camp.
Those guys.
God of the Bible demands that you
Guys,
forgive
you
even
might
your
be
enemies,
offending
you love your
people.
enemies. Not many people do
So
that.
now, like, nobody's devout either.
How many people on earth do you think?
Nobody's smart and nobody's devout.
This is not to be rude, but even look at our hangouts or these debates. How many people on earth right now do you think actually love their enemies genuinely?
I do.
There's not many.
I do.
No, you don't.
Oh,
No,
yes,
you
I do.
don't.
I do. I
No,
do.
you
I
don't.
embrace it. I love it.
No,
I
you
embrace
don't.
it. Yes, I
People
do.
don't love their-
Yeah, I love
They
I do. I do. I
fear
really
their
do.
neighbors.
How many
That's
people?
why
God
God
of the Bible-
Okay, wait a
God of the
minute.
Bible
Is
says
this
you
a
have to-
crusade for you, Mog? Are you on a crusade?
No, I'm just
Are
explaining.
you
to
fucking
John why-
crusading? Are you a crusader?
Why the God of the Bible ignores a lot of people?
Is this a personal crusade for you?
We don't lock our doors because we love our neighbor. We bolt. We double deadbolt, steel and reinforced doors because we fear our neighbor.
Yeah, but the God of the Bible has a very different message. That's why there's very few.
Yeah,
That doesn't
worship
want you
me
to
or I'll
leave your door
destroy the
unlocked.
entire
Yeah,
earth.
that's not what that says. I'm telling you now.
I'm giving him an
That was the
explanation
message
why
God
God
was
did not
for us
appear to
to
literally on earth,
everybody, right?
Wait a minute.
Worship me or I'll destroy the entire earth. Give me your undying devotion or you will spend an eternity in hell.
Those are like the rules I have on my panel. What?
You want to worship a monster like that.
This is hell. There is no burning of the soul for it.
Some will allow babies to die when it's in his power to prevent it, but yet let pedophiles.
But listen. But then if he listen,
No, that's
if he
what
let,
man
if he lets
does.
everyone live, then we
Sean,
all.
God's not doing that. Man's doing that. Man has free will. We make bad choices.
God
No,
could
God-
make the
God is
rule
behind
no
every
babies
death
die
on earth.
until age 8.
And
God-
death,
Babies are sick,
death
babies
for
die
God
until
is
age
not a
8.
punishment. It's not a punishment for God to bring a baby home.
That's well said.
Punishment to the parents.
That was kind of deep.
I like that.
Not if you truly have faith. It's not. Because you
Heaven
know
for the
that
babies,
your
but it's
child
hell
went
for
to
the
heaven.
parents.
I told you, Sean, your belief system is different. It's you're not arguing something that can be argued. Different, completely different. You're not even your mindset is not his mindset. So you guys are gonna butt heads with it. Period.
No, I'm an old school Baptist believer. I'm an old school Baptist Christian.
The Bible,
Free will Baptist, where they just now allowed women to wear pants.
Well, I don't believe in any creator, and you know, I don't have the same belief system as you do either. If you don't believe in a creator, or if you believe in a creator, then we have a different belief system because you're capable of bringing that to your life. I'm not. Already, we have there's a wall there.
Right. I did at one time believe in a creator, but now I don't. So.
I mean, but you know what I'm saying though. It's just in general. It's just someone who does believe.
Oh yeah.
It's different arguments.
That's why I don't like to talk about religion.
But Sean, if we show you flat, straight water, you'll come back to the God team, or no? Are you just
flat? If you can show me water, if you can show me a flat surface obscuring things from the bottom up.
Thank you. I like that one.
Bro,
I will consider it.
I have one on my video on my channel.
Right, and I bet you $100 that floor isn't flat. And you never.
How do I show you
that floor is not flat? Damn it!
You know what I believe in?
Go for it.
I believe in.
Sorry, Blue.
I believe in helium.
I don't know what you believe in. You
I just posted a couple of links in the chat.
I don't know what you believe because you cut out. We didn't hear you.
Oh, well, I believe in helium balloons.
Okay.
So if you look at that second video I just put in the chat, that's a flat Earth guy. Dwayne Kellum. Look at his video. It'll give you the pressure gradient all the way from the level where you launch the balloon. Yeah.
There you go.
This one I'm sitting looking at it right now is 110,000 feet.
They can look at the thermometer.
Yeah. And you can see the curve too. This is a flat Earth guy.
Show us the curve.
He is.
Fucking look at the curve.
Look at it.
Look at it, dude.
Pause it.
Just look.
It's below the center of the frame, and it's
fucking
curved.
shown it to you for
I think
years.
that's the first one.
If you like Mighty God, I can put an overlay over it right now and show you.
There you go.
Would you like me to do them?
Yeah, I mean, like which panel am I looking at? Bottom.
What altitude is he at there?
The big one. Look at the curve on there, dude.
You can look at all of them. Look at all of them. I'll make it on all of them. Hang on.
And it is center and
You're
below,
only at 47,000 feet. Skip on
flat.
over some, Sean. You're only at 47,000 feet.
And Big Blue, you agree that the curve would be
It goes up way up higher.
But Big Blue, you agree that the curve will be consistent, right? In every
going over. Yeah.
Big Blue. Yeah. So if we lock in the arc that he's about to put up there, it won't change in any other frame, right? The geometry of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right now because I'm in that spot.
Oh, it's going to change with the altitude. Yes.
Will it ever flatten out, or will there always be a curve? I'm just asking because we're
You
going
get
to
down
look at it.
close to the Earth, it looks pretty flat.
No, in these images that you're posting, not in the general thing, just literally what we're seeing.
As it drops in altitude, the curve will flatten out. Yes.
Does he have one where he's at a fixed one and he's
Yes, it will.
going left to right? Can we look at those?
It's a fucking balloon.
Do
I
you
mean, it
think
just does
if,
what it
if
does.
every
Well, I can see
camera
the
You don't have a lot of directional
will be
control over this
different?
thing.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't get to control it.
I mean, do you really think that if they had some way to rotate the camera and face it like west instead of north, it would show different? Any different than this?
That's a
Do you
good
think
picture.
the view is any different anywhere you look when you're that high up?
No, I'm just mathematically. I want to. And this is how we debunk Rory squishing the images together. His curve was not symmetric each time he did it.
Did it?
I want to apply that same principle.
No, it wouldn't.
When you compress a photo left and right or horizontally, you do not change the vertical orientation of any point on that line. You are just compressing it, so it accentuates the curve, if there is any, same way as looking at a board endways.
It was admittedly getting non-symmetric curve, and then even we looked at it with Dean, and the whole proof was stupid. I'm not saying this one's stupid. I'm saying that was stupid.
You'd have to make sure your camera is perfectly level with the center of that shot to make that pull off when you compress the image to get a symmetrical curve.
Right. Even if it's like steeper on the weighted more to the left or the right, even if it was tilted when you compressed it, you would still see a curve. If it was a straight line, you would not see a curve.
No, when Dean was doing it, when we were doing it in front of him, he was squishing it, and the level, whatever he was using that was level, was not flattened. It was distorted. That's the whole point. That's a stupid test.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about the level.
All right, I gotta take a picture of it. I gotta do it that way. This pin thing isn't working.
Sean G.
Yes, what's up?
I was going to say that second video, if you go to about the 2-hour 20
I think I am on the
minute mark in that second one I posted.
You guys,
That's an even
get
better
mad at
picture.
Barry for putting up like pixelated images or whatever. And
Oh
put
my
this
God,
up
this
and
is
put a
beautiful.
curve
This
on
is beautiful. Beautiful image right here. I'm looking
Well,
at.
What are you talking about?
yeah, if you think that one's pretty, Sean G, put up the other.
What surface are we latching onto?
Yeah,
With
2 minutes, no, 2 hours and 20 minutes.
At 2 hours 20 minutes.
Yeah, the second video. Go to the 2-hour 20-minute mark.
Did it give the resolution anywhere on this?
Was he throwing his camera back towards Earth? Why is it like I'm gonna get a seizure? What is he doing?
That's called.
It's on the bottom of a balloon on a string.
Oh my God.
So what are you doing now, mind of God? Debunking flat earthers?
No, I'm moving on to end time stuff. I think that in my mind the debate is settled.
You're not
flat, so I'm moving on to. I believe we're living in the last days.
So which one is this going to be? Number 8 of like in the last, just in this century, the number of second comings we were supposed to have had?
I don't think it's mathematically
The
possible
eighth
to
one.
not happen in the net. The Bible will prove itself to be true in the next few years, and I will apologize, like I said, if it doesn't.
There you go.
That was nice, Sean.
This is a lot
I
harder.
don't know where you are, but you need to be over 2 hours.
That's a good picture.
That looks real flat to me.
Like
Pause that.
I'm
Pause
playing
that.
that like
Pause that.
that second range. So I'm trying to get to.
No,
Go back
that's
for a
still not what we're looking for. You're only at 27,000 feet.
Well, I'm at.
You got to go
this is-
much
this is
further
the-
over. That's only
This is the
27,000 feet.
See, that
I'm sitting here looking at that same video at 113,000.
Okay, so because I picked the first one I picked was the last link you put in. This is the first one right here. But then this is the wrong one. The other one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, then now I know
Yeah,
the time stamp you want.
Yeah, the second video.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
was
much clearer picture.
Yeah, I was like, I seem pretty low.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, now it's good.
I've got my screen frozen at 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 47 seconds. It's 113,882 feet. The curve is very pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
That's still not the right video. Maybe I posted the wrong video.
Yeah, those are the only two I see down there.
Let me see.
There's the rigging of it. It's a camera suspended from a helium balloon on
Styrofoam.
1, 2, 3 tether strings.
What's his name even sent up a sandwich into space and ate it?
Hungry.
Sent it up into like there, and then it came back down, and it was in a box, and he ate it.
I just ordered pizza
Right,
from
just-
Casey's.
Just the heads up, guys. This is going to be, after we show this video, it's going to be the last one, because I got to go pick up my son.
Cool.
So when he's done sharing it.
If you guys want to carry the conversation on and go farther, I can pick up a hangout on my channel. I'm not doing anything for a while.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's just so everyone knows, Crash's
All
link
right,
is in my
there's
description.
a third one on there now.
Yeah, Crash's link is in my description and for his YouTube channel.
I think I screwed up, Sean. Put the wrong. I
Again?
screwed up. Put the wrong link in. That third link I put in should be.
Yeah. It's like real stable. And
What I'm looking at.
I think you timestamped it even perfectly.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. 2 hours. Go to 220. There you.
Yeah, you might have got icy
Yeah,
curve.
that's-
There's
Yeah, you're
curve.
getting there.
I don't even have to draw a line on that.
No, draw the line, dude. That doesn't look symmetric. Show me the point that it's symmetric. It
Jesus.
looks like it's flattening out on the right.
Okay, well, hang on, because I got to do it
You
a
better
different way.
better draw an arc, and it better fit through that, man. This is everybody's watching.
Hang on, because I'm going to...
You're looking at a cloud layer. You're looking at a damn cloud
No,
layer
you guys
too.
technically
There's
can
no-
infer what the Earth's shape is from here. So
Guaranteed the clouds are going to be at the same altitude.
Arc through this.
Hang on.
You guys don't see that it flattens out on the right, or am I just you guys just completely lost?
Completely lost.
Sir, look at the right side of that. The whole right side of that is flattening out.
Sir.
I don't think so.
Dude, what the fuck, man? Get your eyes checked.
Channel Q, back me up on this. I need you. Like,
You need me?
look at the right side flattening out.
Let me tell you something.
Oh,
I don't need you.
shit.
Look at the
I
left
see a
side.
cloud bank on the left and a nice, mostly
Dude,
blue
how could
sky
you
on
not
the
see
right.
curve, dude? How could you? You just
Bullshit.
don't want to see it?
No, I
I
can
see the right. I see the right
Yeah,
side
fair enough.
closer to the center of the frame, therefore flattening it out because it is a wide angle lens. It's not fisheye, but it's a wide angle lens.
I'm just saying the problem you guys have is anytime you say curve, it better be symmetric. So let's see it.
No, it doesn't have to be symmetric.
It's not a
Oh, so the
ball.
Earth-
Oblate, dude. It's oblate, motherfucker.
Oh,
Oblate.
so this is the oblate part. Got it. Okay, got it.
You heard oblate, right?
Jesus.
Let's see it. Let's draw the arc.
I like that he said the blade part. What
I don't have time for the full word.
are the other parts?
I'll catch you guys later.
Rotate the fucking
All
screen.
right, Sean. I'll
Slightly
drop you a link on
clockwise, and it is
Discord if you want
very-
one. You can join in.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm just going to do this line real quick, and then I will get off myself. Won't take very
What line are you following?
What?
Like, which line are you going to use to make the curve?
You did it again.
No, look at all the different.
No,
which
I got
layers
it.
are you gonna use?
I saw what you just did. That was cute.
Oh my!
Yo, hey, you almost got me.
Like, is anybody else watching the live chat right now?
I am. That's how I know Lewis is here.
Oh, Lewis is here. Is he wearing a pink shirt?
I don't know. Oh,
Oh,
that's Twitwit.
now you guys can watch me do it. Yeah, now it's fun, huh?
I
Dude,
think you should get your eyes checked.
there's a whole lot of curvature there. A lot.
No, draw the arc. Let's see it, and then we're
You
gonna
said
leave
draw
out-
the arc.
Yeah, you have to draw an arc.
Arc.
Oh,
Look
Jesus, I
look
love
the
when
left.
you do that.
Where is the? Are you saying where's the left part dipping down?
You want to see the arc? Why don't you draw the damn arc? You want to see the arc? Draw the arc
I
yourself.
would use something stupid like
Fucking
this. to
do
prove
some
my
work,
position.
dude. Do
wrong
some
one, sorry.
work, boy.
We know that we're not spinning. Water can't bend. We're just here
Do
to
something yourself, for Christ's sake.
we're just you guys are
So don't do any of your own tests to confirm it, and the auto
Water
mechanic's
can't
going to do it. So
you guys are entertaining us until the second coming. We're just playing, joking around. Like this Ball Earth is a joke. So, but I'll entertain.
This is a joke. I'm gonna go tell my
The flat
parents
Earth is a joke, buddy. The ball Earth is reality.
Right.
Flat Earth is a damn joke.
You think we're spinning? What
Always has been.
are we spinning at the equator? You believe that?
we're spinning slower than the piston inside your car on the way to work.
You guys have a first law of thermodynamics violation, thinking we're on a
Yep.
perpetual motion machine, which is not happening. That's a big issue that you don't care about.
machine.
Yeah, the
Hey,
same
mind to God, what's
What is the
It
machine?
is not
have
perpetual
to do with
motion. It has
anything?
slowed. It has been
mind to
slowing
God,
down
as per the
since
heliocentric model.
it started 4 billion years ago.
It's been slowing down. It's just getting tired.
You go back a few billion years and it's slowing down, buddy. A few billion years ago, the rotational speed of the Earth was something like 8 once every 8 hours.
Big Blue, your priest will say that this thing is spinning and just flinging through space, and it has no reason to go up or down simply because it conserves angular momentum.
He did it again. He did it again. Did anyone catch that? Anyone catch that?
Yeah, it's this
Why?
that ball.
Why is he gonna go talk to his priest about that?
It's flinging through the air.
At 1 RPM for 24 hours.
No, there's no need for a force to keep it
It's not a
suspended.
big
One
deal.
rotation
It's not a big deal. It's just not. It takes all fucking day. Did you ever do anything that took you actually all day?
Yeah.
Break
Okay.
down bridges.
Okay, so you drew a line to show me the curve, correct, Sean?
I drew a line to show you that it is curved.
Why didn't you draw a concentric arc? The right side looks like it's flattening out. Be proud of your ball, man. Let me see that. Let me see it.
Why do you want it to arc so damn bad?
No, I want the arc because I'm going to force you guys the same way with
Here's what you
rotary. The
want.
arc has to be
Okay.
symmetric.
You want this? This is what you want? Look.
At the center of that screen, the arc has to be symmetric.
You want to do that? There's your arc.
Stop flinging through the air, Lewis.
Hey, look.
Vacuum. There is no air.
So what's going on? Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so now let's go into the edges. What's going on? How come it's not symmetric
Straight.
or
If
on the side?
it was not straight, here you go. Now it's straight again. Because there's still a gap in that line.
No, you should only be drawing a circle because it has to be concentric.
Oh, really? Because we see the all of Earth right now,
I wanted
right?
to draw a line with a circle.
No, I'm
dude.
just saying you can't
Do
go
it.
prune it
Draw
in different
a
parts.
circle
to make
for
it
him.
match. That's not what Earth is.
That'll convince him.
Hey,
You
that's
can't make everything on Earth curve.
that's curvature right there, buddy.
Mug, will you please go to space?
We're living in a bad movie. I am. I don't know what I did in the
Hey,
past.
your
life.
movie sucks, dude. But if you went to
people.
space, it would be better.
Guys, it is 2019. The Holocaust is over. We can fly drones in a straight line now. Hashtag we can do this.
No, you guys don't think we can fly a drone in a straight line for some reason.
I don't think we can fly it in the route you want. Hold on a second. Let me get my camera back up.
Oh, don't let him get you worked up, Crash. This is what he does.
I know. I've been working on this problem all damn day because I've been.
Listen to him, didn't you? You let him get to you.
No, Crashes and I, we had a good conversation. It's not that hard to do.
Yes, it is.
That's the opposite of what he said.
We get a surveying company to define the line and coordinates.
And
and
you
then
see those 2 lines above the circle I drew?
Oh,
Double-
They're
no.
completely not the scale, but yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy that everyone gets to experience.
You guys talk all this science trash talk like you've accomplished so much.
Hey,
But then we talk about a drone going along a path and you guys get all nervous.
get all nervous. I'm nervous.
Nervous.
I can fly the GPS coordinates, but if you fly the
Why don't
GPS
you go
coordinates
talk
and
to your
don't change
priest
anything on the
about
drone,
that?
it's going to follow the curve.
Hey, might of God, I want to show you something. You see this?
Don't call him Mind of God. Call him
Look,
Mog.
look, you see that?
The
See
mind of God.
see those 2 spots I just put there?
He's Mog like a fog, dude. Like fog on the brain.
I want to show you something. This is how you find a straight line. You find one spot, you find another, you connect them. Straight line. It's not that.
What's going on, bro?
It's not that hard.
This conversation is devolving.
We had to have evolved at some point. Get it?
My grandfather is not a monkey. I'm sorry.
I hope not. I really do. If he is, we got some issues.
Prove it, dude. Prove
Yeah.
your grandfather isn't a monkey.
Yeah.
Sean G, you actually believe that we evolved from animals?
No.
We are animals,
We
dude.
are. Yeah, thank you. We are.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Dude, you
You
are.
do realize that evolution doesn't suggest that, right?
It has nothing to. First of all, you do realize that evolution would make more sense than any other idea. So why not think God did that?
Because that's causal.
Oh God! I wish there was a word salad. I'm going now. I gotta go get my son. Everybody,
Goodbye.
move over to Crash's
Oh,
channel.
Brenda's here.
Yep.
The link is in my
Yep,
description.
Give me about 15 minutes to set up a Hangouts
Mind
link
the
and get
fog.
that
That's
going.
what
and
I
we can,
said, dude. It was good.
Okay, cool. So
we can
Sean,
move
be
this
honest
over there.
and tell us-
Mind the fog. It's
But
been
Sean-
coined. It's been trademarked.
Yeah. Sean, be honest and tell us that thing that you put there is not reflective of Earth curve. Be honest to your audience. Don't.
Wait. It's not.
No, because you just drew some random line and
Okay,
it was
listen,
metric.
my God, I'm gonna drop this hangout. Listen in because I'll do that. Okay.
No, you're gonna be honest to your audience.
Yeah,
That's
you're
what I
right.
wanna
I'm gonna
know.
be honest with my audience. Does anybody want to promote anything?
Go watch my videos, bitches. I made too fresh, hot, fresh.
Yes, watch her movies, bitches. Word. Blue, anything? No. Anybody? Rob. Okay, fine. And go to Crash's shit. Damn it. Hang
Yep, like I said, it took me about 15 minutes to get it all set up. So
Cool. Awesome. Thank you everybody for being on the panel.
Wait, I don't do a summary, dude. I had a big speech prepared, man. Give me the mic for a couple seconds.
Fuck off.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You got it. This is when the gold comes out. Channel. This is the gold time. Oh yeah. His best. He saves his best bridges for last.
It's fool's gold.
I just want to let you guys know what you got, and I'm just being honest as a unbiased observer of the debate. You guys got bottom-up obstruction on a boat, which was dismantled earlier today. You have bottom-up cloud when you're asking us why the bottom of clouds are looking bright when we can only see the bottom, which was strange. And then third, you have Rory and others squishing images and overlaying curve on blurred, heavily pixelated images. So come over to our side. Sean, let's talk about finance sometimes if you can have me on.
Absolutely, no problem at all.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Take care.
You guys,
fun, guys.
Yep. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll probably see some of you guys a little later on. All right, guys. I appreciate it. Like I said, I gotta go do the family thing. So I gotta get my boy, and I'll be back on later. Probably see some of you guys in the Discord server over at Debate, Flat Earth, and more. Links in the description. But for now, go hang out over at Crash's. He's about to go live in about 10-15 minutes. The link's in the description to his channel. And after that, I'm probably back later on. Guys, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank everyone on the panel. Today was a good day. Just that it seemed good hangout day. I like those days. That's what I actually wanted. So, I wouldn't have minded if Chris came in. I think this image that we're looking at in the hangout screen is perfect image of an observation with data for us to use as evidence for curvature. Chris, that's what a good picture looks like. Data. Focus. Information. Guys, I'm not going to rant. I'm just going to go. But don't worry. I have an epic rant for everybody.